So you guys have obviously just been rifling through this research facility. Trist, you've got this key. You've obviously been like just engrossed. God damn it, new headset. What? Let me have a fiddle around.
It sounds like the connection rather than the headset.
Yeah, everything you've said up until this point has been absolutely fine.
Typically, is yeah. How are we sounding?
Better, yeah. Although if anyone's speaking, I cannot hear you.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
how's this sound?
You cut out on the word sound.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How does the
That started alright then.
Tell you what, give me a quick moment.
I think it's your ping, mate. It's not too bad, to be honest.
Let me finish.
Yeah,
It's not too bad.
problematic thing with GM.
Actually, to be honest, that's probably it. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think your headset's fine. I think it was just your internet
numbers
cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's just that time of night on a Sunday in my village that everybody's just doing shit, and we only have like a strand of copper to do the whole village, so
Everybody's trying to play D&D.
But yes, we'll
Just carry on. Let's see what happens.
Cool. Anyway, so yeah, Torek, you've got these notes and blueprints. There's more here, really. If you had your way, you could probably spend a good month here trying to decipher what exactly. You're quite conscious of the fact that you probably don't have that kind of time frame on your hands, especially with the shall we say other residents of this cave system. But it's fascinating nonetheless. And while these guys have been doing this, Titus, you've been focusing more on the remains that have been scattered around, especially ones outside. You can remember there was a clear sign that a struggle had happened here at some point, a makeshift battering ram, a couple of skeletons outside the main gates. But it looks like anybody who was in here, they would appear to have been some sort of insurrection.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, they let up all too many secrets.
And do we think they were sort of killed by bladed weapons or sort of more crude weapons?
Roll me a medicine check, Titus.
Titus, MD.
Okay.
Let me fetch my doctor's bag.
Scalpel.
Bodies. Like,
This man needs attention. Stat. That's actually a 12 because Titus has a +1. Yes, indubitably, it appears as though these poor people were killed by some form of bladed weapon.
It appears that most of them were killed by fairly large caliber projectiles.
Uh-oh.
Large caliber projectiles.
somebody got duff.
Judging by the various bone fractures you can see on somebody's desiccated corpses.
Oh, I call over Havel. Hey, this is just like that boomstick.
Yeah. To be fair, Havel was busy nearly dying at that point, so we didn't really see it in action.
I guess that is a fair point.
He
Yeah.
was busy with a munching carpet.
Well, could be possible then that someone found the schematics to the Sildracia's weapons, and that's how that's how Lord Vernan has access to that arsenal. So, from what we deduced, I think from the notes as well, it sounded like there was kind of food shortages and other problems going on that may have led to the riots and stuff like that. Like, I think that's what a lot of the notes sort of
Yes,
alluded to.
The log did clearly mention that supplies were running low to the end, and every that was expected hadn't come.
Yeah. Because this was in the days sort of leading up to the end of the Empire, kind of thing, the Tildrache civilization. Well, we suspect.
That's that's kind of the impression that Torek got from the structures around you guys at that time period being a bit less fancy.
So, when we looked at the town when we first entered, this was kind of like the most held together building, but was there any other points of interest?
So yes, you're right. This is definitely the largest building and occupies the kind of main central area of this cavern. You can see a few other large buildings. One actually bears a striking similarity to, I guess, a warehouse looks like a warehouse regardless of who builds it. A large facility with large doors, but clearly used to load cargo at one point. That's something you can see quite obviously from directly in front of this building. But the others all seem to be largely similar, almost like the ones you had your short rest in, kind of residential facilities.
Interesting. Although while Torek's looking through the notes and whatever, might see if Titus and anyone else might want to wander over and have a look at this big warehouse, see if there's anything interesting inside.
Yeah, Titus is definitely not looking through the sciencey stuff, so he sort of sticks with Rulem.
Split up and look for clues. I'll,
I think I'd be sticking around.
Okay, so happy that the clear of any potential threats. You leave Torek and Triss to their sciencing and where this warehouse. Now you can see that this building also seems to have a few corpses outside, but the doors themselves are open. But it does look like they were at one point at least attempted to have been barred. One of these doors has apparently been,
Nope, completely lost you.
A lot of cutouts here. Yeah.
Yeah, you're at 999 ping right now.
It's definitely the internet because I just checked on my phone and it was like taking years to load anything up. So I think it is just that and Sunday.
Damn.
It's typical that now you speak.
But I'll try that again.
It's fine.
Yeah, I know it's sod's law, isn't it? But yes, so the doors, they've been barred at some point, but it appears that the writers managed to rip one of them from its hinges. Flows clear to the inside, and as you stick your head in, you can see that this storeroom is in a complete state of disarray. If it was ever a clear and methodical rioters have just torn it apart, presumably in their search for food or other necessities. But from what you can tell, most of the debris is crates and packaging and other things like that. But everybody roll me a who's gone in.
Roll a what?
A perception.
Oh. Oh god, the dice is spinning at about 2 frames a second.
I got
Yeah, mine
some
was too.
19.
I think it's because Crispy's hosting as well.
Oh, me and Cal.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Yeah, you got. I rolled a 12, but it
Hmm.
didn't show up for somebody, which is a 15 for Titus, a 17 for Titus.
Ruland got a 25.
25, right. Okay,
Sorry.
we'll resolve that in a minute. Let me just give me a quick minute or two. I'm going to go and see if I can maybe juice some extra ins now. Jotting off various electrical things connected to the router.
Just squeeze the router as hard as you can.
Ring it out.
Threateningly.
Oh my god, Richard, you'll fucking love this one. I was reading through like the like Reddit for stupid IT stories, and it's someone who got in touch. I think it was Sky, about how they're having issues playing videos that were playing really slowly, and the actual IT help at Sky told them to flush their DNS because sometimes it can get clogged up.
Oh god, yeah.
Told them how to flush the DNS. It's like, yeah, sometimes it gets clogged up, which could cause an issue. It's like, that's not quite how it works.
I thought you were going to say they flushed their router down the toilet.
Yeah. Flush your router. Pick up your router. Take it downstairs. Put it in the toilet.
Alrighty, I'm hoping that will have helped. But we'll see. Probably not. Okay, so 25 on that perception. So, amongst all this chaos, you see what appears to be a kind of a rack towards the rear of the storehouse. It has a rough resemblance to a weapons rack, but you don't really recognise what is on this. But you can see that it is secured to the rack. It appears that an attempt has been made to acquire these, but it just had no success.
So what exactly do they look like?
So,
If you want to like sketch something.
damn this without actually drawing it. Given that my artistic talent is extraordinarily limited.
So does it look something like this?
No, I've seen you draw memes, mate.
I'm now disappointed if we're not going to get to see how Crispy draws it.
I can see it Cal's drawing, but then it takes like 3 seconds for the line to load in.
Oh yeah, I've got some of them. Yeah.
But what strikes you, Cal, is that despite this looking almost like these, oh, for fuck's sake, this is going to get very infuriating very quickly.
Noises in and out. We can hear you now.
It's just typical that every time you try and say something important, that's when it cuts out. The rest of the time,
It's
you're
incredibly-
absolutely fine.
Oh,
okay. Well,
selective, isn't it? Is that the bit that almost looks like a side blade doesn't actually have any sharp edges to it.
What does it seem to be made of?
It looks metallic.
Metallic.
Hey, look at this club!
Is there a mechanism for unfastening them from the rack? Maybe.
Okay. I'm assuming he said roll me a perception.
Roll
Investigation.
investigation. Okay.
Ooh.
Again,
Instead
just
of D&D.
crucial words.
That's 12.
Well, looking at this rack, you can see that it does appear that there are these kind of latches that hold each of them broken. This one has remained intact. However, you don't see any relief. It seems that the rack has been damaged in places, though.
So if the rack were further damaged, could it be like removed or other
It looks like some of the other latches might have been pried, but you can also see there are several broken by. So it suggests that whoever was trying to pry these out might not have been entirely successful.
Well, I mean, they've been here for an awfully long time. Maybe the latches have weakened, possibly. Stick a crowbar in, see if I can pry one loose, or rather, pass the crowbar to Titus and see if Titus can pry one loose. So.
Okay, then. So, Titus, I'm
Do
going
you
to have
think
you
we
roll
can?
two things. First, I want an athletics, so roll it up for me.
Mine isn't working.
It's rolled.
Or try someone else's. Whoa, mine is lagging.
You just rolled it
Holy
like 3
smokes.
times.
Mine is, I'm
your
getting
first.
some serious ping. Crispy's is
Hmm.
99999. Sorry about that.
Well, it's okay. You did roll it 3 times, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to. What's that after modifiers?
That is 11 after modifiers.
Okay, and for your second roll, I need a sleight of hand.
Ooh. $21.
So, Rulen, you had a crowbar like object to Titus, who rather deftly slots this between the weapon, and with quite a sharp, clean yank, Titus applies some force to so he puts his back into it, and you hear the metal screech and eventually give, snapping and falling to the warehouse floor. But the XSNG, Titus manages to very quickly pull the makeshift lever away from this weapon, and as this now falls from the rack, as it's not in place, he catches it with his other hand, it being intact.
How heavy is it?
Surprisingly light, you notice, Titus, given that it looks to be, even the handle appears to be metallic of sorts.
Oh, it's light. Oh, this is flimsy, and hand it to Rulen.
Yes, it probably wouldn't make a great club, would it?
No.
So, like, Titus thinks it's light. How does Rulen judge it?
It's by no means heavy, but it's not light either. It's probably a you'd estimate around 2.5 kilos. The entire construction.
Well, now that I have it in my hands, I'll take a closer look over it. Is there any writing?
This is though So, when you inspect this thing, it's quite a large. And as you rest the butt of it on the storeroom floor, the tip of the blade is about a foot over your head. And as you take a closer look at this, you can see that there are not writing as such, but lines of crystal inlaid into this shaft in a kind of a series of geometric patterns, none of which make any sense to you.
Well, something else for Torek to have a look at, I think. And I'll just keep all of it for now. Anyone find anything else of interest in here? Any other crates or anything in the storage area?
It seems that the rest of it has been thoroughly stripped. Any food has either rotted away or been eaten by the looters, and it looks to be cast aside parts for whatever they were building.
So there's not a big crate of hibonite or fluorite or anything like that?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Make our way back to the others, I guess.
Sure. You find Tristan and Torek where you left them. You don't have any trouble getting back to them. The place is quiet as a grave.
So, had any luck inspecting the rest of these materials?
Trying to work it out. Did you find anything else?
Yeah, found this, some sort of Tildrache weapon. Is still in its rack. Looks like it's been. There were some others that were either looted or broken, or this one was still there. Looks like it's in good nick, but not really sure what it does. No.
Oh, yeah, I could take a look at it.
Triss is going to
So,
sort of loom ominously behind Torek while he does this. She's curious and wants to see if Torek can figure it out on his own.
Roll me an investigation, please.
It works a lot.
Oh, that's the weakest of Torek's things. I just clicked the 20. Oh, my dice roller seems to be lagging.
Yeah, they all are. Just give it a minute. It should catch up.
Oh, well, yeah, it came up as an 8 there, guy.
Oh, my investigation is +5, so that's 13.
13. So,
God.
Bruin hands this to you. You recognize that these crystal inlays are of a very similar nature to the ones that were controlling the door panel. Although it seems any magical charm. However, you do find what appears to be a mechanism for a little compartment towards the base of the shafts, and as that opens, it's revealed a small hollow that currently contains nothing.
Life meaning and purpose. All the pieces.
Oh, okay. Maybe it takes some form of ammunition in this compartment here at the bottom.
Fantasy and what the.
Does the opening and closing of the compartment have a good Torek doesn't. Actually, no. We've come across a gun before. Does it make a good reload sound?
doesn't seem that the mechanism is designed to be operated quickly, but it is quite secure once you do fasten it. It doesn't actually make much of a noise, despite its any deposits of rust that might clog the action.
At this point, I think, like Torik's like, well, secret compartment. Further research, I could probably work out what this is. But Tris, why don't you take a look at it? You've got an eye for these things.
Tracy's gonna take a kind of standard look at it first. See if she can pick up anything that Torek didn't before she's gonna take it off and eyeball it.
Okay. So Tris, roll me an Arcana.
Green girl. Viewer.
Where am I at? Has that come up with anything yet?
Yeah, that's the 5.
5. That is. My brain's just gone blank. That's 13.
13. So, this was at one point a vessel for fairly significant energy. There's a nice magic left for that to be clear. You do notice, though, that the are prominent in 3 areas of the device. One in the little compartment Torek has just found, and then each of these kind of crescent features. That's where the most of the residual magic appears to be.
Interesting. I'll pass on that information to Torek, and then I'm going to toddle out of the room to somewhere where I'm not going to blast everyone, and get the eyeball on it as well.
Okay, so the eyeball feels that the eye can't actually see through this material, but it also, does register. But you suspect that at one point, this must have had a source of magical, which is now missing.
Interesting. Okay, I'll head back and pass it back to Torek and explain as much as I know.
It's actually one of my favorite
Oh, another compartment, you say?
Sorry, Torek, what was that? I missed the end of your sentence.
I said, oh, another compartment, you say? How cryptic.
Yeah.
Anything else?
There was a lot to do with magic in it as well. I'm not completely sure how it works, but it does need a little something extra that isn't currently included. Was there anything else nearby it, folks, when you found this?
Nothing that we noticed. I mean, most of the rest of the warehouse was just destroyed, looted, or just rotted away. Nothing that we could see.
Any of the schematics have anything to do with something like this, Torek?
Strong personality in the first place that caused.
I could do a cross analysis, perhaps. I'll take a look at the schematics and see if they hold any clues.
Roll me an intelligence saving for this one.
The modifier for an intelligence saving throw is +9, which actually raises that to an average roll.
11. Torek, the device listed in the schematics clearly was of great importance and required a significant amount of energy. Some of the technical diagrams do going to have a little footnote. Instead of a conventional amount of hibonite, they had to make do with smaller fragments. These small fragments look like they might be of a kind. The documents reveal that towards the end, when the supply carts stopped coming, they had to make do with whatever sources they had on hand. So,
Okay, so this thing does use hibonite as an energy source,
might
but
not
what you're
be
saying is
outside the realm is they've had to basically scrap whatever sources they had to try and keep this research going. That's the impression you get.
Woody Allen's classic. It has her own ambition.
Sure. You cut out for some of that, but I think I get a general idea. This thing uses hibonite as a fuel source, and it was designed under a premise of having not as much fragments of it, right?
This one runs on hibonite, but it looks like they extracted it when they were running low of more conventional supplies.
Psycho.
So we
Okay.
could go back and get that hibonite to try and get this
Was
to work then.
kind of the gist of it. Well, you suspect that hibonite would definitely be a good source of energy for it.
So, I'm assuming everyone's talking out loud when they're saying this, but is the material made of fluorite, perhaps, then? And that's how it contains the hibonite power?
It's possible. The fluorite does contain very similar properties. Although we didn't experiment what effects fluorite had on Triss's eye, so we can't say for certain, but it's looking like it.
There's a simpler way of finding that. Triss will sort of hold a hand out and just cast Identify on the materials that it's made out of.
Okay, Triss. So as you run your hands over this, the actual shaft of it is not. Well, it's a combination of metals. But as your hand moves down to this, there are trace elements of fluorite in it. Not much, just enough to kind of provide a few very small strips of fluorite down the length of the small compartment.
Interesting. Seems like we could maybe use
A few
not-
grams, really.
Yeah, not use very much at all and still have it be quite effective as a material.
After having their flaws
Well, we won't be heading back that way to the remaining hibonite for some time, I imagine. At least not until we've been up north, so maybe we should stick a pin in it for now and think about getting on our way. I think we've got everything we might get from here.
Does this complex go any deeper from where we've explored?
It appears to be one cavern. There's no trace of any further tunnels leading anywhere.
I guess.
Interesting. Okay.
Crap, so we may have to go back out.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no like emergency exit or anything like that.
There is an emergency exit.
Nope.
It's just time consuming. How far down do you estimate that we are, Crispy? How far would we kind of guess we're into this? And how big was the cavern outside of where we're
I have
at as well?
no idea. You have no between you and the surface. You don't have any idea. It's definitely less than the range of dimension door.
Okay, but that's a risk.
Wouldn't be able to put an accurate figure
How
on it.
far was the cavern with the
You could end up
things?
or still underground. Just on the other side of that blast door, so a couple hundred yards of tunnel up to that, and just the other side. So
So that cavern itself
probably
wasn't
looking at
actually
about
that massive, was it?
it was reasonably sizable.
Less than 500 foot from the door that we're at, the door that we got through,
Probably
the
again
hole that
another
we made.
150 feet.
Okay. Hold
Yep.
on, just bear with me a second. It could be a place you see, one you can visualize, or one you can describe by stating distance and direction. So what we could do is get back up to that door. I could dimension door with someone. Bring along objects. You can also bring along one willing creature. Okay, so what we could do is dimension door there and back and there again, and then I could take a rest if I can't get back those spell slots and just do that until everyone's out.
That's
It's time consuming, but it's probably the safest method of getting back through that cavern without dragging everything through after us as well.
I mean, Rulin's pretty confident he could probably run past everything, but it would mean having to open the door and possibly let them through. So,
I mean, you could dimension door through with Triss. You run. Triss come back through.
There's that's
that's like almost like a wasted journey. Then
yeah.
you might as well
Yeah.
just
Taking
dimension
the
door me
whole
all the way up, like because she's going to have to use the spell twice to get out and back again.
I see. Okay.
So it's kind of like I don't know.
This is why I'm best for role playing, Titus. Wait, so if we teleport,
So to transport a single person will cost you 2 casts of Dimension Door.
Pretty much,
Yes,
yeah. And
1
at
plus
worst-
1 is some.
At worst,
Yes,
I've got 2
correct.
casts of that. If I can get one back, I can get an extra cast in there. But I think we have to assume that the worst case scenario is that I can only cast it 3 times before taking
And you're
a
not
short
gonna-
rest.
Right. Okay.
So there is always the short rest option.
So basically, take us
Meanwhile-
probably like a full day to get out. Oh.
Oh man, I wish I had catnap prepared.
I don't like the sound of this. Meanwhile,
It's been a while since your companions went down. The miners are starting to, kind of get visibly nervous, and some of them are this is like vindicated their belief that there is something down there, and they're just adamant that they're not going to start working again. You can see some have actually started packing up their possessions, ready to break camp. Fanir the Hume is, he's livid at this. He's trying to do what he can to keep them on site, but they're not having any of it. To your west, you see the sun is starting to get a little bit lower towards the horizon. Anyway, carry on, Triss.
Is anyone having some second thoughts about that idea that maybe it's not that great? Just sort of randomly. Right, who is fast and speedy?
Brulin.
Like you need to ask.
Yeah,
Clearly,
else. Right, so first of all, who's got pretty good stealth and who's pretty fast?
I will go and sneak.
Okay, so Titus is not sneaking.
Well, there wouldn't be much sneaking involved if we opened the door, and because it creaks incredibly loudly.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to run through.
I think.
Sadly, I'm out of invisibility paste.
Yeah, but I could take Torrik up, at least.
Who did what now?
So, we can take, I don't know. What's the best way of doing this? There is no best way, is there?
Torrik, what potions have you got on you? Maybe something we could make use of.
Potion. He like looks around in his pack. He's like, well, I do have the enhanced ability stims that you can take, remember? And, I do have this potion of swiftness. Yeah.
Swiftness.
Yeah, I guess I probably should have chimed up for that one, huh?
Yes.
Well, better late than after we get in with those bloody animals again.
Actually, I think they lack vertebrae, so technically they're insectoids.
Even worse.
Maybe there's a way that we could scare them away, or just long enough for us to slip through. Just something to frighten them off, or just to keep them back a few feet to give us enough time to get back up to the entrance.
Given that they live under the ground, are there any of us that can produce a large quantity of light? That might be productive.
There's the spear, but they were still attacking us while it was lit, so I'd say that they're necessarily afraid of the light.
Yeah, I could be wrong with that one. Though.
Maybe so it'd have to be something a lot more powerful. If anyone has access to that kind of thing. So at this lab that we're in, is there any other materials and things that not necessarily hibernite, but like other things around? Some dangerous chemical stuff, perhaps, maybe.
Well, there's plenty of shit around. Probably than others. A lot of it has been damaged or spilled.
You keep breaking up, Crispy.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it.
This is
The annoying thing is, any
pretty
other time
bad,
of the week,
dude.
it's fine. Like, no issues gaming. But I just have no control over this, I'm afraid.
I got a little bit better there, but
It's only when it's non.
It's only when he's complaining about it.
I know.
He's like, God damn it, this internet! Anyway, you what?
You get the odd sentence.
I know, but
and then, of course, the
It's a
crucial
Hibernite.
component of.
can you connect? Do you have like a good 4G connection or anything like that? Maybe you can connect through your phone, like just for the voice chat, and then.
I don't even have that just because fucking village internet hasn't been invented out here, really. I'm moving next week, so I might get better internet, but should get better internet. But
That will be a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the new. I will say the new microphone is fantastic, Crispy. I have to say the quality's great.
Yeah, you cut out in high quality.
The 3 words we hear are brilliant.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Oh man.
But yeah, this is
it's difficult, but and the problem is the voice is playable, but it's when we get to a combat, it's gonna be just a nightmare.
Also, I do know that we're missing some reasonably important things, which is making it a little bit harder work.
I think it would be prudent to postpone.
The annoying thing is, give it 2 hours time, and it'll be fine because like all the old dears will have gone to bed and they won't be watching Poirot on now.
Fucking
Downloading your Candy Crush match.
Game Poirot.
That bloody Poirot.
But of course, son of a bitch.
And of course, you sounded absolutely perfectly clear when you just complained about that as well.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking knows.
I just don't know what to tell you. It's only really been the last few weeks as well.
It's never been bad really in the past.
Not this bad.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had it this bad, because normally it's sort of, we can have some teething problems and then it seems to quickly clear up, and it just hasn't done this week.
The weird thing is, I've never noticed it either. Like,
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
You go
Just no issues. Right. Tell you what, I'm going to restart my PC just to see if that.
Yeah, it'd be nice
harm
if we
can
could
it
at
do?
least escape from the mine, you know? So it feels like we've done something.
Yeah, if we can get that cleared up, and then if we have to give up after that, we have to give up after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, bear with me a few minutes, and I'll do that.
Cool.
Now.
For the first time, I went over to Guy's area of the table.
Yeah. Find anything interesting?
Oh,
Don't just start a conversation like that. What did you think?
What did you find? What's there? What is it? Or is it over we lost Rich now as well?
I think we've lost Rich.
I think we might have, yeah.
Having
Oh
us
my
on.
gosh.
He must be.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah,
Now we
okay,
can,
now.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I cut out.
It's like the best possible time, like full of mystery. Yeah.
No, it's just
You-
like
Well,
that area of the table where Guy quote unquote sits. It's got so much writing on it. It's like a bomb hit it and wrote a load of words on the table.
There is a lot of writing on Titus's side too.
It's mad. It's like one of those crazy people's. Do you know when they have like a map and they're trying to prove a conspiracy and they got all the wire between the locations? And stuff? That's what Guy's area of the table feels like.
Which is good. That's he's like role playing, even in how he does that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Titus's passive intelligence investigation is 9. Oh god. Oh, he's such an idiot.
Passive perception's pretty good, actually.
Pretty damn
15,
good. 15's good, man. Yeah.
15's good, yeah.
Alrighty, restarted that, and hopefully it'll help. But
You actually got the second highest out of everyone. So because Rulin's got 17.
Dude, that's mad actually for
Oh,
Sounds better so far. Actually.
it's the monk's second stat, really. Wisdom. It's dexterity and wisdom is the main two. That's all nobody say like DC saves and whatever. Wisdom.
Yeah, Dex and Wiz are good ones to have as your kind of primaries. Covers a lot of bases.
I've really been umming and ahhing about the next at level 12. Should I go for the ability score improvement and get another plus to my wisdom, or do I go with the feat? Oh, it's going to be a tough one. If we ever get out of this cavern.
No promises being made. Alrighty, servers back up. Let's give this another go, shall we? Well, straight away, I'm seeing a lot fewer 999s, so that's positive.
Touch wood.
Right, okay.
Cut back after the TPK. That's all right.
Yeah.
Intermission while Crispy fixes connection issues, and we're all dead. That poor Norwegian bloke's like, no, I must know what happened.
Dude, that's wild that we had a fan for a hot minute. That's so sick, to be honest.
Because it was like, what episode was it that he commented on? Because it wasn't like episode 1 or 2. It was like,
No, it's like
double figures,
episode
wasn't it?
16.
Hey, like-
because he asked what happened to episode 15 because it's one of the ones that we forgot to
Dude, that's
record.
wild that someone that's so sick.
Somebody watched us for that long. Yeah. just-
Yeah.
50 hours of videos up to that point. or
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay, cool. I'm seeing a lot of 50s and 100 and somethings, and hopefully that will hold out.
I swear on that one fan's honour that, we're gonna push this into like a full series. There's gonna be an anime produced everything.
I think with the amount of certain words that have been dropped during the recording of this, I don't think we're going to make it anywhere. Will it all be in Japanese?
And an intro that's 3 minutes long.
Complete with really, really over the top, super hyped music. Doesn't relate anything to it. All right. Okay. So if we're back in, I think we can probably get going. And just let me know if it starts cutting out again.
Cool. Everything's back up as it should be.
Nice. Cool. So sorry, Cal. Where were we? We were looking for stuff in the main labs. Yes.
Yes. Anything that may help us against the creatures.
Cool. So as I was saying before, there's plenty of stuff here, but the tricky part is going to be finding out what's what. Lots seems to have been smashed, spilled, broken in various ways when this place was ransacked, and it would take you probably quite some time to thoroughly examine these.
So there's no
Maybe
signs
pieces.
that have skulls of skulls or mushroom clouds on it, next to any of the components.
No, the Tildrache scientific shorthand is clear, not that comprehensive.
Okay. It was a long shot, I guess.
Always worth a try.
Yeah.
Could I have a wander outside and see if there's anything that looks like it might be an exit other than the way that we came in?
Okay, so you have a wander around, and this cave was clearly dug. You can see, as you kind of get to the outer walls behind some of these residential buildings, tool marks are all over the place. And it seems, Tris, that this blast door is thick for a reason. That is one very easily defensible location to either enter or exit the complex.
What about a sewage system?
You see no evidence of drains, which raises a whole bunch of questions.
Torek, get some notes down. This is interesting stuff. In fact,
When archaeology
interesting stuff.
When archaeology runs its course, you can go into civil engineering after that.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting stuff.
Join me, Tris.
So there's no underground streams or anything like that either.
Nope, doesn't sound like there's any streams here. The silence is deafening.
Okay, so one way in, one way out. Makes sense. But it does make me wonder. I mean, they obviously had that door to keep creatures out, so the only defenses they had were these weapons, whatever they are, but then they used the materials to help power their experiments, ran out of power for them, and then ended up defenseless. Seems like where it went. Doesn't help us much, but
I don't know if they went completely powerless. After all, the gate was powered by its own power matrix, right? Which was still active when we reactivated it to close.
well, I mean, they died in here. They didn't escape.
That reminds me, Torek. On the side that I was on trying to get it open, there was something missing from the actual mechanism. You saw a little bit more on the inside and how it should have looked. Do you want to take a look at that and see whether that will help us in any way?
Yeah, yes, I could take a look, I suppose. Better have everyone there in case the door opens by accident.
Okay, so you guys make your way back up the tunnel towards this blast door. And Tarek, Triss is correct. You were obviously in a bit of a rush last time you were here, but now that the pressure is no longer so high, and you've got a bit more time, you take a closer inspection of the black pillar, this side of the blast door. So roll me an investigation, please, but do it with advantage because you've got a bit more time on your hands.
Oh, that'll be a 18.
So Triss is correct in her summary there. This is missing something. It appears that the top kind of steel control panel has been quite primitively pried off by somebody who clearly didn't know what they were doing at some point in the past. You suspect they were trying to force the door to open, but it appears they didn't have much luck.
Oh. It seems like someone was trying to force their way out of here. Someone who didn't know what they were doing. Do you think they were locked down here and starved to death?
Ooh, that's grisly.
After their little uprising, I suppose it's possible they may have accidentally killed anyone who actually knew how to open the door. And then whoever was left couldn't get out.
Yeah. Wonder how easy it would be to find that person. Torek, have you got any idea what kind of part we would be looking for?
Well, we're looking for an interface panel of some sort. It'll be about a foot in diameter, lots of fiddly bits to interact with the console, so to speak, in layman's terms.
Torek, to us, they all look like fiddly bits, but I'll take your word on it.
So, to save you guys some time, this has been pried off and lies at the base of this box. It hasn't been moved. The plate is still there. Just cast aside.
Don't worry, I found it. Don't worry. It looks something like that.
Right. So, that's really not going to help us very much. Is that the only thing missing from it? Just that panel?
Looks like it. Obviously, you're not entirely familiar what a complete one of these should really look like, but this is the obvious alteration.
Yeah, I could attempt to fix it and get us out of here. Although there are a few caveats to this, of course. The bugs on the other side of the gate, potentially being one of them. And another one being, well, how could we deduce how recently this thing was broken? Would it have been done in ancient times? Like, was there dust on the panel and whatnot?
There was dust on this panel when you first got to it. You suspect any and all damage to this probably came from when the inhabitants were still alive.
I was just wondering if it was the kind of like someone is still here kind of thing.
Impressive for them to have stayed alive this whole time.
Yes.
Not the wildest thing we've seen today, admittedly.
Nor would they necessarily have to be alive.
Oh god.
Quite interested to even be impressed.
Okay, so can you get the door open?
Give me a while. I'll see what I can do, and I'll use a combination of melding and my tinker's tools to see what I can do repairing this thing.
Okay, so Torek, the mechanism you've used before, you obviously opened and shut this gate. So you have a rough starting point on how this fits together. With the help of your tools and a bit of time to work it all out, you manage to patch this thing up to a point where it is by no means pretty, but most likely functional.
Right. Like, I imagine, like, Torik's got one of those little, like the skate things that they use to get underneath cars. He, like, slides out from under, and he's like, right, I think that ought to do it. If I'm right, I should press this button.
Don't press the button yet.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
Right. So at the moment, the best plan that we've got is run through, hope for the best. If we're going to do that, we might need to think about how we're going to block up the hole on the other side so that we can actually run away from them. Has anyone got any ideas about how the heck we go about that?
Get Titus to pick up as many big rocks as possible and block it.
Was there any structural weakness that could be seen along the cliff's roofs and faces as we came into that area? Maybe we could exploit that.
Titus did mention that it wasn't very secure while we were on the way in.
Maybe we
From
could
his
cause a cave in
experience.
behind us.
Tarek, if you remember, the initial blockage was from a collapsed Tildrache arch that was blocking the way. The rest of the arch is still there, but the kind of a crossbeam part of it was what had collapsed. And that was really your entrance to that cavern.
It may be possible to cause a cave in if someone has enough, so to speak.
I could probably help with that.
If there's one person who has oomph, it would be you two.
Of course.
I guess
Torik
if there's
is
two
good
people.
Just a source of explosions, you know. Most of them are by accident. I assure you.
Very reassuring, Tarek.
Either way, I don't think I particularly have anything that goes reliably boom on me at the moment, sadly.
Well, I do, and we always have Titus's arms. He's pretty good at going boom.
Okay, so is this the semblance of a plan forming, I hear?
I'm loath to say it, but yeah, I think so.
Well, assuming that they're all directly on the other side of this door waiting for us, I could run out first, try and draw them away to open up a gap for the rest of you to follow through.
You'll probably want this potion.
That is some Merry and Pippin shit right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Do you want this potion?
Could probably manage, but why not?
Yeah, take the potion. None of us need it as much as you'll do.
I have another idea as well.
I've endeavoured to try and make them taste better.
Okay. Thank you.
What colour are they,
thoughtful.
out of curiosity?
Yeah, I need to assign colours to each of the potions. You're absolutely correct. Come back to me on that one. I want to give thought to it.
Just hands you like a really unappetizing, like kind of whitish one, and says it tastes like Cool Ranch or something.
It's got the consistency
You
of cold
humans like the
porridge.
taste of mayonnaise, no?
Garlic mayonnaise flavored potion. Yeah.
Oh god.
And then the question is, what does it actually taste like for Havel as well?
Mm, that is true. Havel has an unusual palate.
Mm. Okay. Are we ready?
I think so. Is there anything anyone else wants to do down here?
I don't think
Don't
there was
think so.
anything
If
left
there's-
to discover,
yeah, if
was
there's-
there? No.
Seems like there's not really anything of use.
Okay.
Wait, I seem to remember in the old session where maybe there was some kind of safe.
Yeah,
Did we get that open?
Yeah, that was what Triss cracked to get the keystone out.
Ah, okay, got you. Okay, just didn't want to leave something like that behind, and for Crispy, like in 5 sessions, to be like, should have picked the safe.
Guy, do you not remember the keystone?
Well, you guys didn't specifically say you lifted up the carpet to find the hidden stash of gold, so
Oh, you didn't look to the left of where you found that weapon, and there was a load of ammo boxes. Oh, no.
gotta be specific here, people. No, Triss had cracked that safe, so that's all taken care of.
So before, as preparation, I'm going to light a torch. Because I'll try and keep my spear sheathed, and so I can just run.
Okay.
And
So,
I've got another idea. We'll see how it goes.
So, Rulin, you light this torch, and with your spear on your back, you
Still with the light on. Right?
yes. So you've kind of got a light source on either side of your torso. You kind of look around into the probably concerned faces of your companions. Tarek, are we opening the door?
Here goes nothing. And I press the presumably big red button.
Mm-hmm.
Titus is his shield ready.
Okay, so at first nothing happens for a while, but then the door cracks open with a kind of a shower of kind of rock dust and other small particulate matter, and it starts to open. Again, quite fast for a door of its size and presumably its weight. It's not necessarily overly loud, but there is a definite scraping of steel on rock. But Titus, as you have your shield ready and braced, as the door opens to about a foot's width, nothing comes round it to greet you. It appears that the cavern is, at least for this point in time, empty.
I'm gonna sort of poke around with Ruland's lights. Sort of, would that sort of fill the cavern for us?
At least with dim light, yes. The immediate area, the nearest 60 foot to you, you can see nothing, and the far walls of the cavern kind of dance and flicker in the dim light of the torches kind of furthest reaches. But you see no trace of movement, no insects, bar the corpses of the ones you slew last session.
Right. Well, no time to waste. Let's go quickly before they come back. And I'll just start running.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
We'll follow behind.
So you guys lose no time in working your way back up to the entrance leading out into the open again. So you guys scamper up that quite short little drop that you had to get down into, and just as you reach the top of that, Torek, the door reaches its most open point. And just there's a horrible screech as this door now, because of course last time you only opened it a little bit before you started the mechanism closing again. This time you've left it to go to its full extent, and this appears to have hit some sort of rocky outcrop.
We should have closed the door.
This stalactite falls and shatters, and Triss, in the distance, you could kind of hear that familiar scratching sound.
Oh shit!
Getting a bit closer.
Right. So are we at the point where it was sort of loose and not secure?
Yeah, so you've come to that kind of collapsed arch. You're going to have to crawl through it again, because you didn't really clear a full kind of doorway-sized gap, but you're there now, and you've probably got. Tori, you probably estimate about half a minute before you have company.
Fuck. Okay, as soon as I'm through, I'm gonna grab one of the pickaxes and try and cave in that area on itself.
As soon as everyone else is through.
Yeah, as soon as I'm in, I try and time it.
So
I
I
try
go
and time
first,
it.
then I collapse everything behind me.
Yeah, I wait
Choice of
until
words.
I wait until Torek is right about at the edge, and I go, "Long live the king."
Titus, what might be better to do is to stay on the side, and we'll go through last. Make sure everyone else is through. We'll get through, and we'll blast the heck out of it.
Sounds like a deal.
Okay, so you guys kind of haul ass through this small crevice. The miners see you kind of coming out, and a cry goes up in the camp. Braxton, you hear this obviously, and your attention is drawn now. And as you look down to where this dig site starts, you can kind of start to see the rest of the party emerging out of this. But Titus and Triss bringing up the rear, you turn around, just starting to come up the kind of little ledge. You can just see a few kind of scythe-like forearms and appendages of these creatures. You're gonna have to act pretty quick.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast sort of directly, kind of at the ceiling above where we came through.
So roll me the damage for 2 bolts of Eldritch Blast.
3 bolts.
Of course, level 11. Yep.
Ooh. I rolled to hit.
You rolled d20s, not the damage. Yeah, you
Yes.
can hit it because it's an inanimate object, but just need the damage.
What am I needing to do here? Eldritch Blast. D10.
Perhaps I'm giving Triss too much credit, huh? Just assuming she can
no,
hit.
for God's sake! Pretend that didn't happen. Third time lucky. And that is 37.
Okay,
Jesus.
so you put these blasts into the kind of remaining portions of these archways sides, and you blow off a good chunk of stone. Weakened it, but there's still just a little gap there.
As Triss is doing that, my mega... You remember that shield that I crafted that I spent ages making that is super heavy?
Yes, I remember that one.
I'm gonna just sort of discus throw it into that as well and just absolutely hammer it, because that thing's got to weigh a ton.
Okay, so Titus, you kind of see that this hasn't quite done the job. So you kind of no room for niceties here. Just with your free hand, you just push Triss out of the line of fire. Take 3 kind of good solid steps of a run up and just hurl this shield into this pillar. And as the rest of you watch, you just see this almost carve through one of these pillars. The stone just gives way underneath it, already weakened by the Eldritch Blast. The sheer force of this heavy shield at high velocity caves this support. And Titus, just as the rocks are falling down, you see this shield kind of ricochet off and into one of the creatures that's kind of closest to getting through the gap. And you kind of see this impact quite heavily in its torso, but then your vision is cut off as the rocks collapse and seal the cavern.
Go! There might be another cave in!
Just keep ushering everyone back towards the.
Yeah, so you guys now you've kind of got to the base of a dig site, so this is more open now. You've got sky above you again. The lift is very quickly lowered down into the base of a pit, and you guys mount up before rejoining Braxton at the
glad that's over. Let's not do it again.
Let's.
As you guys brush yourselves off, you hear, footsteps approaching quite quickly. No, what have you done? That's my dig site. You've ruined it. You've just set me back years in my studies.
You're more than welcome to go down there, but I don't think you'll be coming back up.
The local inhabitants may not be too friendly towards you.
Local inhabitants? What are you all about? Anyone in there's long dead. Well,
The people.
So don't tell me you're buying
some lovely wildlife.
don't nonsense. It's just for miners. Don't let them scare you. Oh, you're still alive. He's noticed you, Torek, sitting at the back there.
Yes, hello again. I did survive. And thanks to this little cave-in, I've added a few years to your lifespan.
It's really a shame, actually, Torek. We should have let him go down.
Yes, there were many schematics, beautiful hieroglyphs on the wall, and grand mosaics of incredible art and culture.
I see what this is. This is a ploy for you to steal my finds again. I'm going to be having words with them at the academy. I'll have you disfellowed for.
He's already been disfellowed, hasn't he? Tell you what, how about I show you what was down there? Triss is going to get inside his head and just show him the cave full of monsters that they came across.
You can do that?
I was totally hoping you were going to
Holy
fucking
shit.
dimension door him down.
I could do that.
Just leave him in there! Dude,
Yeah,
that's
just
evil.
chuck him through it. Don't even walk through yourself.
That's evil.
I owe
We
you
can't do
one
that.
tattoo if you do that.
Can we?
We cannot do this.
Sorry, Torek, did you say more magic tattoos?
I may.
No.
Just do it to Radio Torque, and it's just do it.
Tell you what, yeah, Triss is going to grab him and she's going to dimension
No!
door into the middle of the cave. She's going to keep hold of him while she's down there.
So Triss,
Don't forget to roll your d20.
you pull Falnir into this cave in here. And I know it says willing creature, but because you've just exposed him to the horrors that you face down there, I'm going to say that he's in no real mental state to resist you as he's kind of processing this here. And although now with no opening, there is absolutely zero in the way of natural light in here, with both of you possessing dark vision, you can see that there's a lot of movement in here. Falnir grasps the concept that there is a lot of movement in here. And he kind of lets out an involuntary and now the movement is heading towards you two. You can't see how many, but it looks like a lot.
So you
Possibly
see
more than the first time.
that we've done you a favour. Is that correct?
Get me out, get me out, get me out, get me out!
You can ask nicely, and are you going to treat Torek a little bit nicer?
Triss, while you're lecturing him, several attacks fall on you as these claws start to rip through your flesh.
Damn, I should have given her some drugs.
So you are going to take from that 18 slashing damage, Triss.
Okay. Did he take any damage?
No, he's not the biggest target. They've gone for you because you look tastier.
Okay. I'm going to pick him up and use him as a bit of a human shield.
Oh my god.
This is when the murder hobo begins.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Falnir is going to take some damage too. Again, just these scything talons and mandibles just chomp down with it.
We're just oh my god.
Sickening crunch on this gnome who is not an adventurer and is 100% a scholar through and through.
Oh my
No
god.
training.
He was level 1 this entire
Oh
time.
my god, you guys.
No armor. No
Trist.
way to wriggle your way out of this one.
Okay, Triss. Before I have you roll initiative, let's get out of there. Do you want to cast Dimension Door again?
Yeah, I'm casting Dimension Door again. I just wanted to scare him a little bit. I was willing to take some damage.
I wanted to scare him a little bit. Pretty sure I killed him.
So, Tarek, you see this Dimension Door appear again in, a way that them to almost, if seeing a tear in reality can ever be something you get accustomed to. But out comes Triss, in the middle of a scolding here. So now you see why. And then you realise that she's only holding Falnir's bottom half. The rest of it seems to have been torn off. But Triss, he is dead. He is gone. The top half of his body has been devoured while you were down there.
Guys, I think this is not blurring the line between good and neutral. I think this is it's pretty fucking evil, guys.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Well,
See-
in good news, she won't be disfellowed.
We got the body.
Triss, luckily for you, the only people around you right now are the miners. You don't know where the guard captain is, but he is currently not at the rock face. And you can see that the miners are obviously shocked that you have just murdered their boss. But none of them jump into action to do much about it. You suspect that some of them are quite relieved that their boss isn't going to be, forcing them into these mines, but you suspect that not everybody in this camp is going to feel that same way.
Should we get these civvies down, place an ECM, and get out?
Yep.
End mission.
So on that note, yeah, it's definitely time for me to make an exit. I don't fucking know what I do with the bottom half of this body though.
Throw him back down the hole, I guess.
It's caved in. You just leave him amongst the rubble.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Place it so it looks like
Pop a
the rest of them got crushed
or
underneath
something
it.
over it where his top half would have been.
Okay, so you do your best to bury Falnir. It's not a very convincing grave. It won't take people long to uncover him if they do start digging again. It does at least hide him from vision.
Triss is still pretty mad at him. I don't think she cares that much that there might be some repercussions kind of on her head, as unwise as that might be.
Or it's
Okay.
gonna just slink away and just try and dissociate.
So, of course, Braxton, you have no idea what the group have been through at this point. You've just seen them re-emerge from here, and then Triss take Falnir down and just kill an omen in cold blood. Now, you don't know she didn't Dimension Door just into the woods, do this herself, and then come back.
Oh shit.
That's, as a paladin, I suppose that's probably not really in keeping with your morality.
Yeah, ever so slightly goes against it.
I know you didn't like him, Driss, but that's quite extreme,
Admittedly,
even for you.
that wasn't really how I saw that going.
How long has it
You,
been since he died? Yeah, I could bring him back. It'd be a horrible, crippled life if they haven't eaten him yet.
That raises a very interesting question of which part of the body do you need to revive something if they've been split in half.
I think
Oh my
reviving.
god, he just
can't.
wakes up for a few seconds down in the pit to die again.
They eat him a second time, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he has been horribly maimed at this point. I don't know if Revivify does specify that you need a whole body or not.
I'm pretty sure Revivify you can't regenerate lost limbs.
Yeah.
The more powerful ones you can.
Okay.
What I remember in there.
So he's probably not going to get far without a torso and a head.
I like the idea of just gnome legs walking about, bumping into shit.
Of course you do.
So yeah, you kind of hide him as it's not a very fitting burial for an esteemed scholar. But it'll probably keep you out of prison long enough for you to get out of camp. Probably, if no one talks.
Yeah, on that note, I'm going to start making an exit towards the edge of camp. I'm going to just set a nice determined pace to where I think we can get away from this shenanigans.
Back to the horses.
Okay, so you guys make a hasty retreat to this, kind of the outskirts of this camp, and remount the horses and the wagon. Where next?
Triss is taking a step back from making decisions, so everyone's aware of where we're standing.
Well,
Titus helps Braxton to place the cuffs firmly on Triss. I'm kidding.
Not an unreasonable thing to do.
I am the law.
10 years in the ISO cubes.
Some years.
Falnir joins the Rune Rock seller in lists of Triss's innocent victims.
Oh, God.
Should we be worried that the person in touch with a fucking eldritch god is killing people?
I'm still here. I can still hear,
And she can read minds!
Titus, just don't think about anything.
This will not be a difficult task.
I'd like to think Torque at that point takes out a recorder. He's like, note to self, design some kind of mind fortification device.
I just like to imagine that, Rulin's meditative state that he has achieved through years of training, to get his mind to a purely tranquil Zen place, Titus can just achieve by just drops into neutral straight away.
Just thinking of nothing, just
a white noise.
empty space.
Okay, cool. So you guys, you get a little bit of distance between you and the camp before you start deciding on what comes next in your journey.
Well, we need to continue north, I think. We need to try and track down Huck. Figure out what happened in this battle. So, keep heading north. We'll probably find the Parthunis camp. Get some intel.
I wasn't going to comment, but that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, north it is.
Whatever you say, killer.
Look,
Please, just don't hurt me!
you all agreed. Nobody said, Triss, this seems like a really terrible idea, don't do it.
Well, none of us really expected that you were going to cut someone in half.
Yeah.
I didn't cut him in half. The damn bugs cut him in half.
Well, you exposed him to the danger.
I can't.
You realise that the only one the Academy is going to be able to identify is me, right? I'm going to be linked to his
What a
murder, and I've got this
shame.
notification. Oh,
So what
shit.
you're saying is we have a loose end.
We need to go back to the mine. No witnesses.
Yeah, someone else can do it this time. I'm all out of juice.
It's a lie and you know it.
Boy, here I go killing again.
If it comes to it, I'm sure we can explain our way out of it without
If
killing
anyone
anyone
asks, he
else.
asked her to take him down there.
That's true. He was salty that he didn't get to see things. Well, he got to see something.
Horrible things. Yeah,
He
in
got
a
to
very
see death.
monochrome kind of palette of dark vision.
That's really probably the best way to have seen all of that, realistically.
Jesus Christ, that's a horrifying last 6 seconds of life, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
What would only have been funnier is if Trish dimension doored and then realised that she'd used up her first spell slot.
I did
God.
check that.
Yeah, that would have been a horrible way for Trish to have to die.
Yeah, that would have been straight suicide, wouldn't it? Really.
Yeah, there's not really much you could have done at that point. It would have just had to have been a narrative death. But thankfully, you did check before you looked before you leapt. So
That's the only thing that you could say positive about that whole experience.
It's amazing how quick those things get on their targets, isn't it? Fuck.
well, there was a lot there. But no, Triss is very meticulous with her manslaughter, so it all works out in the end.
The gnome slaughter.
Yeah, it's true. It was only a gnome. Like, who really cares?
Yeah, it's a gnome slaughter. It carries half the length of a sentence for manslaughter. Just
Even then,
I don't
only,
stay for it.
size disparity. Yeah.
only half. So you did only.
Oh,
You
I
were
mean,
only
technically, we had half
actually
of his body
responsible. Anyway, on northwards.
onwards to more.
Yo, this is so clean! Look at this! I've only just noticed the way you set up the tokens. Oh, that's so nice. Did you save the map beforehand so it's like this at the start of every session?
No, I have to do shit at the start of every session anyway, so usually I just... If you want that in the future, Guy, I'm more than happy to do it for you.
Yo.
Cool. Okay, so you guys make a little bit of progress before you have to kind of pull over and make camp for the night. You obviously left it quite late before setting off, but I feel that events might have forced your hand in that regard. But you don't hear any distant screaming that might indicate that the beasts did find another way out of their cave. So there is that.
I don't know whether that's good news or bad news at this stage, quite honestly.
Well, I mean, that's a matter of perspective at this point, I'm sure. But yes, the wagon turret does allow you to kind of study a little bit more these diagrams you found. So roll me an Arcana.
Sorry, was
Did I
that Triss
cut out
or me
that, or-
doing the...
That was you.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was... I thought you said Triss to roll it.
No, sorry. You're in the back of the cart examining those diagrams you've managed to scavenge.
16.
16. So, from the looks of it, this device, Hibonite, to generate some sort of almost like a portal. From the looks of the design, it's not a very large one. Probably maybe 2 foot in length. But it appears that this portal is able to be maintained for a reasonable length of time. Mention why they've built this. It's more the technical details of how the parts work and all that. But due to several entries into the logs, you conclude that this isn't the only element to this weapon they were building. This is, this research lab was tasked. You suspect that this Sanctity Initiative might centers.
What you're saying is we found the schematics for a prehistoric portal gun.
It's a device that generates. Yes, a portal gun, if you will, but only the one. It's not, your blue and orange.
Interesting. How would it be used then? Would it be a kind of like shoot it against the wall and you can go through it kind of thing?
From the looks of it, this device, when fully built, is going to be far too big to have ever been portable. And it appears that the portal would be generated in a well, it's almost between two pylons.
I see. So it's kind of like a more of a stepping platform.
Possibly.
Interesting. Does it tell me like where the portal goes to, or
Interestingly enough, no, it doesn't.
okay, something to keep in mind then? Very cool, Kanye.
Okay, so the next day dawns. You guys carry on your way north towards Eventide.
Is that a rest of any kind?
You can take a short rest if you like.
Please.
Well, Toric's in the back of the wagon.
Well, one person definitely needs one.
Please, sir, may I have a short rest?
Yeah, so Tris,
Well,
get your
traveling
spells.
like on horseback, can you not get a short rest out of that? Like, because it's not
No,
like it's not
just because you
strenuous
need
activity.
to. It's not strenuous, but you do need to concentrate.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'd say, like, if you were in the back of a wagon, like having a nap, fair enough. But if you're actually kind of controlling the horse, I'd say no.
20. You know what? I'm gonna use 3 more just in case as well.
3 more hit die.
Yeah. So, 3
Okay,
left
you want to
on
roll that?
this.
I'll do 2.
Blub, blub, blub. 21.
So that puts you back on full, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Max HP of 70.
All them 7s.
Go on then, Carl.
2.
2. Okay. Plus your con.
Plus 2.
Plus 2, so 9.
9.
71 by my count.
Yep.
And I'll take a couple of die as well. That's plus 9.
9 plus. Just plus 9. Okay. So what's that? 67.
What am I doing? Healing 9. What the hell's going on?
I had you on 58 after your escapades in the
67,
cave.
yeah.
Anyone else with some hit die? Speak now or hold your peace.
Yeah, go on then. I'll do. How many did I use last time? Does anybody know where you see a hit die on?
If you click short rest, it should tell you how many you've used. If you've clicked it.
Ah, yes. I have 4 remaining. So I'm just going to use an additional 2.
Additional 2, okay.
It's going to be 18 health back.
18 health. So what's that? 109?
Yep.
From 91. Okay. Yeah, you guys continue northwards. You don't really much on the way back. The only exception being a wagon that appears to be transporting injured Parthunian soldiers deeper into the kingdom. none of them seem to be in a particularly good state. All victims of a recent battle, you suspect, or of a subsequent fall of eventide. But as you carry on, everybody roll me a perception at disadvantage, except you, Jason, because it's favoured terrain, so just a regular perception for you.
Finally, the benefits of being a never mind.
I got a natural 1.
Natural 1, okay.
Torek
Braxton,
got
you are now
0.
blind.
23.
Thank you.
23 with disadvantage. That's not a bad
Yep,
day out.
got 16 and a 17.
Jesus.
Guys, I rolled a 0.
It's got 6.
So, Rulin, it takes you a while to notice at first, due to the fact that you're on horseback, but there's a slight tremor in the ground, but it's getting closer.
Seems like something big is coming our way.
Do we want to get a
I think so, yeah. It's probably not such a bad idea. Is there like a clearing that we can navigate the horses and the cart through just to get off the road?
So on one side of the road, there's kind of a fairly steep embankment that would really forbid the cart from making progress. The rest on the other side is quite heavily wooded. You suspect it would again, just there would be very few opportunities to get a kind of a wide-based cart through there. But you could definitely pull over to the side of a road.
Okay.
And then progress on foot if you wanted.
Yeah. Get the cart over to one side, quickly unhitch the horses, and make our way.
So now, as you dismount, Rulin, the rumbling now, everybody, you can feel this now. It's quite strong. And kind of look around, but you see nothing on the horizon. The road is not, you're the only occupants you can see either side, and it's pretty kind of hard to place which direction this movement, this tremor is coming from. Notice, Rulin. But as you guys maneuver the cart off the side of a road here, and convince Torek to get down from there, the center of the road where you were, in just moments ago, erupts in a kind of a shower of kind of stone and cobbles and various other bits of debris. And out pops an absolutely ginormous subterranean creature. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Oh, double fuck. Look at him.
What?
This is weird. I've encountered one of those on Saturday's session in my other crew. In that session, we ran away.
So you guys are kind of around this area.
Purple nope rope. Love it.
For God's sake, no, bro.
Okay, so seems that getting out of a road was a very good idea. This creature has clearly targeted the vibrations of the of kind of the cart's heavy wheels, and has kind of ambushed your previous location. However, as it starts to kind of writhe its head around, it almost sniffs at the air. You notice no signs of any kind of ocular sensors on it, but its head quite quickly whips around to the direction you're in. Titus, you are the first to respond.
Oh, well, I rolled a 21, which I believe is the same as Torek.
In which case, you get a choice.
Oh, you go first, my good man. Unless you want me to. I mean, maybe I could buff you, and then you go off. Like I'm not feeling this fight really. It's been a long ride in that car.
Oh God's sake!
The
Okay,
suspension
fine.
hasn't been
1,
kind
2,
to Tarek.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I don't want to just run in there.
You don't?
Jeez. That was Charlie speaking, not Titus.
No. Titus 100% wants to run straight in there.
Titus thinks this will make a wonderful trophy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's loving it.
To be fair, if you end next to it, then you've got attacks of opportunity against it and all sorts. Advantageous question mark.
Oh, go on then. Okay. Fuck me, yeah, but then he's gonna just tear me apart because I don't have my shield anymore. So 8. I'm gonna just move up. Oh, some lag. That's nice.
Didn't you want the buff? Okay, see ya.
Yep. Bonus action rage.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna hurl my axe at it. Actually, my little battle axe and a javelin.
Okay.
So-
So roll me those attacks, please.
So they'll be the exact same. And I'm not going to go
Reckless, or
reckless.
You're not going to go reckless. Okay.
So they're the exact same damage and such.
Sure.
So 1. Plus 8. So 15 and a non-natural 20.
So that is a hit and a miss.
Okay. So 10 damage. And we'll say I missed with the javelin, but then hit with the axe for roll of cool.
Okay. So the javelin sails into this thing and kind of hits it as it's kind of rearing its head. You hit it kind of where its throat would be. You see the tip kind of hits the kind of center of one of its kind of underscales. And it's at an angle that just causes it to glance off, and most of the energy just carries it further off into the forest. The axe, however, does strike true. You manage to kind of get this, and it sticks. It doesn't go in far, but you can see it has at least stuck.
Very good. Which does that? Yes. So that hinders him. That does ancestral protectors. So
Okay.
cool. All right. End of my turn.
Torek.
Cool. I think I'm gonna try and buff one of my allies using my stored spells.
Mm-hmm.
And the stored spell is still what's it called?
Enhance ability.
Enhance ability. Thank you. I don't know why, but I was having some real trouble finding it in my spell list. So I think I'm going to give the bear's endurance to someone, and that someone is actually going to be Braxton because he's next to me, and
Okay.
I don't want to make too much vibration by moving. So I'm gonna give you this buff and then just be like, make sure he doesn't get killed.
I just love the idea of eventually Torek just casts like enlarge person so that somebody else makes more vibrations than he does, so he can make good his escape.
It's a symbiotic relationship. He has increased chances of killing it, and I have increased chances of running away. So, you get the bear's endurance, Braxton. You have advantage on constitution checks, and you gain 2d6 temporary hit points.
Okay, so
Am I rolling that or you?
You feeling lucky, Punk?
it's probably Toric's spell, so let's have Toric roll. So
7 hit
seven
points.
temporary points.
You'll
Right.
lose these if I lose concentration.
Okay. So, Braxton, again, the chemical rush for by now is becoming a bit almost too familiar. Fills your veins as Toric sticks your calf with a needle.
My thanks.
I like your microphone went deeper, and I like the thought of my spell just. Oh yes,
That's all it is. It's just like bear's endurance. It is just like hormones gathered from a bear. Just all sorts of natural chemicals.
Yes, it's testosterone mixed with Red Bull.
Okay. Movements.
I think he's established that he doesn't want to move, so he doesn't make any vibration.
Fair enough. A fairly good point. Cool. In which case, Havel.
I'll do do. Let me get this open. Just basic hunter's mark.
Hunter's mark. Okay.
First level. So next round I might do a little bit of extra, and we'll just ping off 2 arrows because we've already started hitting it, so we might as well finish. There is no running now. Oh!
It's a hit and a crit.
Hit and a crit. We just completely forget what die you need to roll. D8s. Right, okay. So 3d8s. 13. Does the proficiency damage get doubled as well? I can't remember when.
No, it's just the dice you roll.
Oh, right, okay, so it's 23 then.
23. Okay, so Havel, you kind of notch 2 arrows at the same time, and as you pull them back, one again strikes just below this thing's mouth in its kind of neck, not too far away from Titus's axe. But the one you knocked above that manages to hit it. It goes almost straight down this thing's throat, and you see this recoil a bit before it chomps down with its mouth and snaps the shaft off. But it clearly did some damage there.
Hit it in the mouth. Got it. And we're back in Havel's favourite terrain. So
Yep, favourite terrain.
2, 3,
Trees.
4. I will try and climb this tree.
I'm gonna need let's go for athletics. Because it's a
You know
tall
what? Because I don't want to die, I'm going to use my robes to impose advantage on my one per day.
Yep, okay.
I would have been fine anyway. Oh well. It's
So,
worth it.
Havel, you kind of take a running start at this, take a jump up the tree, and then kind of kick off the trunk and grab momentum to swing yourself up into the foliage.
And there I shall stay.
I'm glad it needs me.
It's good to be out. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So, this thing, Titus, you're not exactly the lightest footed of fellows. So this thing has detected you trying to, close the distance. So It's going to close the distance itself, and as it does, it lashes out with the stinger on its tail.
Oh! With a 15-foot range?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus!
So
Why? How big's your stinger?
It's only 3 inches, which for Titus's size is terrifyingly small.
It's basically like a nub.
Jesus Christ.
So, I'm afraid that one is going to hit you. So let me quickly do the damage for that. So that's after resistance is 10 damage to you, Titus, and I'm going to need a DC 19 con save.
10! Bloody hell! Okay, hang on. 10 damage.
Oh, if only you had some kind of
Uh,
buff that gives you advantage on
Dude,
combat.
I shut the fuck. Oh god, failed it, of course.
Okay, so Titus, this sting, without your shield, you just can't block this with your axe. It's just too strong. This thing is, big by your standards. So as this kind of stings you, you can kind of feel a very potent venom coursing into your leg. So I'm going to roll that damage. You're not resistant to poison, are you?
No, I am not.
This might hurt then.
Oh my god, that was a lot of dice.
Oh my god.
You take 47 poison damage, Titus.
Oh,
Your head spins. Your veins feel like they're on fire. This creature is not messing around. And as you your leg, it takes a bite at you. Rolling very well today, it seems.
Right. Yep, that's another hit, isn't it? Yep.
It is another hit, so let me do that damage. So that is going to be 23, so 11 after your
was that a 3d10?
3d8.
Okay.
So 11 damage piercing. And then Titus, I need you to make a DC 19 Dex save this time.
Okay, dex saves are with advantage.
Yes, because you have obviously seen him coming at you,
Yeah.
so you do get advantage for that.
Oh fuck. I failed it anyway.
Rulin, you watch in horror as Titus kind of stumbles back, clutching his leg, and the head of this beast just comes down to the ground over him. Titus, you have been swallowed by this creature.
Okay.
So, for the time being, you are blinded and restrained. You are completely immune to any effects from outside of a creature. And at the start of the creature's turn, you are going to take some acid damage until you can get out or are released by your allies somehow. Rulin,
Shit.
Yes.
you're up.
Well, bugger. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55. 55 gets me to there, which is not in range. That potion that's already given me that swiftness, I didn't drink it.
It's still applicable. It'll still work.
Will it?
Yep, I have not had the chance to craft any new ones, so
That is true. He only crafts new ones on long rest, so that is still a valid potion.
Are we saying bonus action to drink a potion?
For Torix wand, yeah.
Okay. I'll just drink the potion of swiftness then.
Okay.
As I'm sprinting, like
Yep, sure.
seeing Titus get swallowed is a pretty big fucking pulling out all the stats here.
Nice,
So what does the
jolly
swiftness get me then? Just
You
an
will
extra
get
one.
bonus hit points, of
Oh,
which
yeah,
I
forgot
will
about that.
tell you soon. You get 11 temporary hit points, and
Okay.
swiftness gives you an additional walking speed of 10 feet for
So that
1
gets
hour.
me close enough. And yes, I will. Can I see where Titus is, like in its throat, or?
No, it is opaque.
Okay,
It's
I'm just
very
gonna.
obvious.
Is its head within range of just like stabbing? Because I don't want to stab Titus. Is essentially what I'm trying to say.
Well, Titus is impervious to all attacks whilst he's in there.
Oh right, okay. Well, I'll just stab away then. Okay, so first spear attack. Let's go for it. Come on. That's 19.
That's a hit.
Okay. The 7, and then obviously we're going to do the old stunning strikes. That's 14 damage.
14 damage.
And yes, let's go 1 key point for a stunning strike. DC 15 Constitution.
DC 15 Constitution. So as you can probably imagine, that has passed.
Okay. Second spear attack is 17.
That's a miss.
Okay. I've already used my bonus action to drink the potion, so I can't flurry of blows. So that's me done.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with a bonus action. I'm gonna use Fast Step. Let me just roll and see whether I get that pack slot back. What was it again?
You do. That's all 16 or up. So
Right,
you get that one
fantastic.
back.
Let me just get that back. And then that takes me 60 feet, but with some extra movement, I can get right in front of this bad boy. And I'm gonna fling my arms around a bit, and then I'm gonna triple Eldritch Blast it.
Okay. So Triss, you kind of run up to this thing, throw some mad gang signs, and then blast it with Eldritch Blast.
So that's a 27, a 21, and a 13.
2 hits and a miss.
2 hits and a miss. 2D. Did I get that right? Bear with me a second.
1 for each blast, I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right. Eldritch Blast, 1d10 plus 5, so that's plus 10, isn't it? 26 damage to it.
26 damage. Alrighty. So yeah, at this range, you have no difficulty in just blasting away at this thing, and you can see you are taking good-sized chunks out of it. It's just there's a lot of worm there to take chunks out of, so you might need some more. Okay, Braxton.
Oh boy. So when Titus got hit with the stinger, was it obvious that that's poison damage?
I think just due to the nature of it being, a kind of a creature with a stinger, it wouldn't take a genius to work out that it's probably poison.
Cool. So I'm going to use. Hang on. One action. I'm going to use a level 2 spell slot. I'm going to cast protection from poison on myself.
Okay.
I will move up as far as I can. Which I believe is there. And I don't think I have any bonus actions to do, so that's it for now.
Okay, so plate mail clinking heavily in the rear, Braxton. You make your way up a little closer.
Oops, I clicked a dice by accident. Ignore this.
Okay, so then We're back round to Torek and Titus, so your choice of who goes first here.
Probably me this time. Right?
I don't think Titus would object.
Or can Titus not roll
Titus
to
can act
escape?
still. It's not a roll to escape, I'm afraid. It's not that simple.
Oh.
Titus is still free to act inside. He is restrained and blinded, but he can still do stuff.
Okay, I'm going to move diagonally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my full movement.
Mhm.
And I am out of range for a goodie. Jeez. I don't really have any backup stuff, so actually I'm going to prepare an action. If anyone here takes a hit, a big hit, I'm going to cast a healing word on them.
Okay, cool. So you ready a syringe and kind of flip open the iron sight on your glove and extend an arm and
Yeah. Come on. No one else.
okay. So Titus, you've kind of found yourself now down the gullet and into the stomach of this thing, and you've kind of can't see anything really. These kind of fleshy walls are enveloping you, but you can feel like the sting of acid as digestive juices start to kind of fill up the cavity you're now in.
I'm gonna. Can I get my axe out?
Yeah, you can draw an axe,
The big two-handed one.
the big two-handed one.
Can I do 2 reckless attacks with it against the walls of the creature?
You can, so that'll cancel out disadvantage. So you may as well
Oh,
roll them
okay.
together.
Oh, that was so nearly a nat 20. So 17 and an 18.
It's a hit and a miss.
Well, there's your AC, everybody.
Hmm.
14 plus 6 plus 3, so 23 damage.
23 damage to it. Okay. So Titus, you kind of lash around a little bit. It's obviously hard to really get full potential out of this axe in such an enclosed space. But the obsidian does slice into some of the lining, and some of this blood starts to mingle in with the stomach acid. But it's not quite enough to cause this thing to regurgitate you.
Uh-oh.
Now the juices are kind of coming up to your lower calves.
I'm gonna Stone's Endurance the acid.
Okay, so we'll do that on the start of its turn.
Oh, okay. Isn't it next? Oh, okay, no. Okay,
Havel's,
okay.
you've got Havel in between you two. So Havel, you're up in this tree. Clearly now you can see that the group is -1 Titus.
Oh. Love the
But
idea that
you're,
he got eaten while I was climbing. I'm just like, well, where'd Titus go?
but you can see, Rulin and Trissa are kind of the way there, stabbing and blasting.
Cool. I'll do about the only thing I can do. And I will fire some arrows. And we have a... Ha! Interesting. I'm assuming they're both going to miss, because that's only going to be 14 on each.
Okay, so Havel, again, you, after your previous success, knock 2 arrows this time. And, to be cool, you turn your bow sideways like a kind of an inner city gangster. due to your kind of now extended distance from the target, the kind of a little deviation from the center line is just enough for an arrow to sail either side of this thing's head.
Nice. Okay, I'll sit in my tree and think about what I've done.
Alrighty. So meanwhile, the worm. Now this is kind of rearing back as Titus is kind of struggling inside, and its tail kind of swoops round and lashes out. Rulin, you are the one unlucky enough to be in its path.
Mhm. What's with these rolls?
23. Going to be a hit, I'm afraid. So let me work that out. $15 plus 9 piercing, so that is going to be 24 piercing damage, Rulin.
58.
And the poison.
Immune.
Immune to poison. As a monk, that is very handy.
Yep. That's basically the only reason why I charged in.
Also, does he still get disadvantage from my?
Actually, yeah, I guess you will have.
Yeah.
That's the point. Actually,
Historic Guardians are still there.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just still doing damage. So let me roll that other one just to for a sense of completeness. And yeah, actually, yeah, no, that's well remembered, Titus, because that has saved Rulin a hefty chunk of damage there.
All right, so get me back up to 71 plus 11, 10.
Oh lord, just imagine that in the fight, like the blue energy appears. It's like, he's still alive in there!
Yeah.
Oh shit! Unless the blue energy is Titus.
The only downside to that now is that Crispy does now realise that Rulin's immune to poison, so he's going to bite him the next time.
No, the bite is actually coming at Triss this time.
Okay.
Jazz, when Titus finally dies, can you just roleplay as his ghost for the rest of the campaign, haunting us?
So, of course, Titus disadvantage. So, Triss, you might still get away with this. So, 17 and that's going to actually add up to an 18. So, you're safe on that with an SAC of 19.
Oh wow.
Again, this kind of big jaw comes down, but like a spectral Goliath just kind of, gets between the two of you, and with its arms apart, kind of, holding each side of his jaw, buys you just enough time to kind of throw yourself out of the way before the jaws overpower it and it snaps shut again. And Titus, now because you're inside, we need to do some damage to you. You're not resistant to acid, are you?
Nope, not
Okay.
resistant.
So 23, and then one of your stones and endurances.
Minus 12.
Okay, so 11 further damage from the acid as this starts to eat in.
What does that put me on?
30 by my
30.
maths.
Yep, 30.
Okay, but Rulin manages to dodge the tail sweep, and Triss is kind of fast enough to use this ancestor's intervention to get away from harm. So this thing's kind of lashing around here, but you guys keep out of harm's way. Now it is Rulin, your turn to act.
Okay. No point in moving, I guess, but yeah, just lash out with the spear. See if we can get a stun on the go. Oh, beautiful.
Crit. There it is.
Nice.
Not bad. 19 damage on that.
19 damage. Okay.
And let's try that stunning strike. 1 key point. DC 15 Constitution.
15.
Come on. Nope.
No dice on the stunning strike, I'm afraid.
Second spear attack. It's 25.
Hits.
Damage. Say 13 damage there.
13.
And once more again, stunning strike. Has to get it at least once. Come on.
I'm afraid that's still a pass. This thing has a fairly chunky con modifier.
Okay. Another key point, flurry of blows. And right, first one. 25. No,
Hits.
24. Sorry. Yeah. And that's what do I get now? Oh, it is D8 now as well. Yeah, unarmed. And that's 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay.
Is it worth just keep trying these stunning strikes and just keep burning through all my key points? I think so. Right,
Another one.
stunning strike.
That succeeds.
Fuck! Get something below. Fucking prick. Right. Well, from the actual hit itself, from the actual open hand technique of the flurry of blows, can I force it to make? Actually, I'll force it to not be able to take a reaction.
Okay.
And then the final flurry of blows attack.
Rulin, in your just almost kind of frantic
Savage
attacks in this creature's flank, you don't see the head coming down until it's a bit late, so he's going to attack you. 19. That's going to go through as well.
Still disadvantage?
No, because it's been around since. Oh no, he did some damage, didn't he? That's he did some damage when he was inside. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, so 19. So that's your 11 gone through, isn't it? Your temporaries, and then 8 additional.
63.
63. And I need you to make me a DC Dex save, please.
Oh, what? DC?
DC 19 Dex.
21.
21. So the teeth go in and do a really quite vicious attack on your upper shoulder, but you manage to pull yourself free before the kind of the inner tongue grabs you and pulls you into its stomach.
Yep.
My healing word is gonna hit him.
Okay, so roll it up.
Cool, gain 14 health.
14 health. 77. Okay. Yep. So you get bitten and actually end up better off for it.
Well, I did have the temporary, I guess.
I suppose that's true. Okay.
Oh shit, did I just waste it because it burned through your temporaries?
No, I lost my temporaries to the bite, and then I've regained more max HP than I had. So I was on 71 hit points plus 11 temp. Now I'm on 77 hit points.
I forgot to account for the temps when I said he was better off. But no, you've saved him a good chunk of damage there.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was well placed.
Okay, so unless you've got any movement you want to do as a result of all that, or any.
Well, he can't take a reaction, so I can step away. Yeah, I think I'll do that actually. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, actually, when's Triss's turn?
Triss's turn is next, don't worry, and she's got far step still as a bonus action.
Well, as Ryland takes a few steps away, he'll recommend Triss to do the same. Just get some distance. So.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Alrighty, Triss.
I'm going to use Psychic Crush. So it's got to pass an Intelligence 17.
Intelligence 17. I suspect this isn't going to happen.
That's what I was hoping.
Indeed, he fails.
He fails, right. So he's about to take 12d6 psychic damage, and he's going to be stunned for a minute as well.
Okay, cool.
Stunned.
That's a d10, isn't it? Ignore that. Stunned, yeah. Ignore those.
For a minute.
Yeah.
What?
That's what?
That's
That's
like-
incredible.
It's d6. 12d6, not 6d12. Hold on.
Yep.
2, 3,
Although
6,
technically this
9, 10,
almost the same.
12d6.
Look at those dice.
Oh my god!
30 damage,
Okay.
Wow, that was.
and he can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns.
Okay.
And
What the
then,
fuck?
as my bonus action, I'm going to use Misty Step and bop myself up here.
I mean, you really didn't need to. It's like,
Just to be sure.
Wow, it is
Oh,
about
those-
1 minute, yeah.
Those damage rolls are so dog shit.
I know, 12d6. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2.
They're like orcs.
Very annoying.
that
but
is the most insane spell I've ever seen in my life. I had
Crazy.
no idea the Warlock had access to that.
For a whole minute.
one
Although it
per
can
long
end it.
rest.
What are you going to do, Crispy, if the next campaign we all just roll Warlocks?
Give you some really fucking demanding patrons. That's what I'll do.
Your patron requires your left hand.
Actually, I'm just going to change where I've moved to while we're still not thinking. I'm going to move myself up onto this there. So I'm still fairly close, but not right in its face.
Alrighty.
Shit, that's insane.
Cool.
That means you just like completely made the monk like pointless.
Only once per long rest.
Yeah.
But still, it's still insane though, really. Okay, yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, so I guess then that leaves Braxton if you've got nothing else to do.
Brilliant. He's still too far away to actually reach with his movement. So what I will do is probably cast a spell, but let me find out which one.
Oh no, Titus is gonna die. I'm gonna have to play a warlock. No. What happened? Shit.
I have to play Truss.
Trust!
Oh,
Trust.
trust. No raise.
Trevor Schrock!
Yeah.
Trevor Schrock!
I'm going to cast another level 2 spell, which is Branding Smite. So whenever I next hit, I do 2d6 extra radiant damage. I'm going to
Okay.
move up just to there, so we've got a sort of nice tactical surrounding on the go. And I don't think I've got any ranged weapons to do an action with.
Could throw the hammer. Thor.
I'm saying that, I do have javelins, apparently. So I'll just...
Just imagining Braxton just like looking through his pack on his way over. Just what have I got in here that I could use?
What can I throw at this guy?
Casually pouring through his pack. No real haste going on.
Well, it's done, so
Careful consideration while he's got the time.
Well, I mean, it could end up with a fucking nat 20 on intelligence saving throw here. You never
Are
know.
you prepared for a melee attack, or will your javelin just be like a holy javelin?
It's any weapon attack, so it would count for the javelin. Yeah, let's try and hit it with these javelins. Why not? So let's
Okay.
try and throw 2 of them.
So it's stunned for a minute. So that's a minute of advantage.
Yep.
Oh
it's
my
done,
god!
yeah.
I just realised that. That's fucking ludicrous.
Oh,
A little bit.
yeah.
Oh my
So that's
God.
one with advantage, right? I forgot we got advantage.
Yep. So
but you get
that one
advantage.
hits.
It gets disadvantage on all its saving throws.
Is it all saving throws?
I'll roll the other one as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, when you're stunned, it's disadvantage
Yep.
on everything.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Well, you know, another
Another
19. So
Okay.
that's 2 hits
Oh.
for javelins.
The 1 and a
So that's
19.
Could have gone
2d6 plus 6, and then another. What did I say? 2d6 for the branding.
Yep.
Shit.
Hang on. So 19 damage.
19 damage. Okay. So yeah, these javelins you hurl with practiced precision here, and the the first one as it hits, you kind of hear a hiss as like it sizzles with radiant energy off this thing's kind of slimy underbelly. Creature doesn't really like that. It seems to. I mean, it's stunned now, so it's kind of a bit all over the place. You can't really see any coherent actions to it, but it kind of almost instinctively recoils. Okay, so Titus.
What do you think, Charles? Do you want to throw in your attacks while I think of something to do?
Yeah, go on then. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what Titus is going to try to do.
Torek, get one of your garlic mayonnaise
Reckless.
potions down.
He has no idea that he's stunned, so he's going to just keep reckless raging.
Okay, so cancels all out again, so might as well roll them both together.
You know, if I throw healing potions down the monster's throat, that might not actually help Braxton.
Yeah, but if it tastes like garlic mayonnaise, it might make it sick.
I don't think it's a vampire.
Crispy furiously altering the notes I've got here. Purple vampire.
16 damage for that one.
16 damage.
And does fire damage make a difference?
Afraid it doesn't.
Okay.
So again, you're kind of cutting and slicing, but it's not quite enough to get this thing to spit you out.
Oh my god. Titus, do you think you can drop your shield?
I don't have a shield.
He did back in that tunnel.
He threw it, and that caused the cave in, but obviously ricocheted into the cavern.
Had to sacrifice it to
Save Falnir.
Great, now
Save
Falnir
Falnir.
got it.
So for then him to be
Nobody's
fucking
saying.
brutally killed.
Don't talk about what happened in the cave. Come on.
Titus wouldn't understand what happened in the dimension, although he's like, "Hey, what did Falnir go?"
What happens in the cave
Oh,
stays
well.
in the cave. Okay.
Okay, so Titus, you just kind of keep struggling and slicing, but you haven't managed to cut your way out just yet.
Okay.
Which leaves Torek.
Cool. Torek is going to ever so cautiously approach. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's in range! Torek is going to cast a level 2 spell. It's gonna be a... Do I cast the spell? It would stop the bear's buff on Braxton. It would really suck if you got poisoned. And you are within tail swipe
I'm immune
range.
to poison at the moment.
Resistant to, isn't it?
Resist.
Immune to being poisoned, resistant to poison damage.
Oh, you're immune to the poison condition. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll feel less guilty about trying out a brand new spell. I'm going to cast a new spell, Tasha's Caustic Brew at level 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, Torek's going to pull out like a small, I wish I had a better term to describe it, but like a Panzerfaust looking device that he's going to like kneel and shoot at this thing. There's going to just be like a trail of like green and yellow glitter that explodes against it. If it hits, it's going to need to take a dex save of 17.
Dex save of 17, alrighty.
Advantage as well, right?
Yes, because it's stunned. Doesn't matter, he's already failed.
Nice. So, this is a concentration spell. It is now covered in acid. I was thinking, like, how could I make this spell Toric-ish? And I was thinking, like, covering techniques. What gets into everything and never comes out? Glitter.
Oh,
Sand.
So he's made like little pellets of acid glitter that's just going to explode against this thing.
It's a very
Alright.
Toric thing to do.
is
Yeah.
that inspired by his bag of holding?
Yes, actually.
So he thought to himself, "How can I inflict this hideousness on the rest of the
Inspired
How
by
can I
Game
You have a
Over,
bag of holding full of glitter.
Yeah, I bought it at discount, not knowing that it's just in a
Gets
really
glitter
shitty
on
pocket
everything.
dimension full of glitter. Anyway,
Well, I mean, you did have a bag of holding of glitter anyway.
it doesn't take any damage now, but at the start of each of its turns, it will take 4d4 acid damage.
Okay.
This will persist until it takes a standard action to remove the acid.
Okay, cool.
Or another creature decides to scrape off the acid for it.
Tarek scraping off. Actually, no. I need fancy.
I don't want to waste it on
Cool. So, bonus actions or further movements?
Is that a hint?
No, it's just an inquiry.
Really? Sad that Toric doesn't have any bonus action cantrips. It's really sad, actually. But oh well.
So, yeah, Christmas
I'll end my turn
got
now.
it over. Oh, I wish this party had more shit that they could do.
Yeah, I wish the action economy were even further in their favour. Havel, you're up.
Well, I'll fire 2 arrows, I suppose. I'll do them first one.
A 28
28
does
hits.
my
hit.
God. Plus
And
12.
the second one. That's a 29 hit.
Oh, yeah, funny that.
Funnily enough, yeah.
Right, let's not push it, guys.
So that'll be 35 damage.
35 damage. Alrighty.
And I will continue to join this.
So you're laughing at the big numbers that you're rolling. I'm laughing at the big numbers of
Oh,
this.
hell.
So, alright.
35. That's funny when it has about 6,000 health.
I love that Havel is just always persistently in the tree. I'm
It's
so
been a while
happy
since
about
I've been
that.
in a tree.
One-
Mate.
I know, dude. It's just good
It's
to see
only
him
for
back in his
lack of
environment.
actual trees. Like, it's not for any of them.
Yeah.
One of these days it's going to be a treant, though. Just keep him on his toes. Alrighty.
Filthy.
Anytime soon. Okay.
I do like this tree.
Okay.
I've made it my home.
Alrighty. So, Purple Worm. Titus, you are going to be taking some damage
I'm
again.
gonna do. I've been saving my Spirit Guardian for myself, selfishly, but I figured nobody will mind considering the circumstances.
Yep, that's fair enough.
I think
Roll
I
up,
do.
And then we can work out what
So I'm
your
minus
Spirit
2.
Guardian is going to
3d6.
do.
Oh! Oh no!
So that's 16 further damage,
Oh,
Titus, as the acid starts to eat away.
Okay.
So that's what, 14
14
left.
health left. Yep.
Okay, and now, Triss, you've had your fun. It's going to use one of its legendary resistances to pass the intelligence saving throw.
Oh.
This thing is no longer stunned.
Crap.
Oh, is it the thing's turn, by the way?
It is, so it's going to take that damage if you want to roll it up.
Yes, please. And for this one roll, I'm going to add +5 to the damage. So let's do 13 to it.
13 damage, alrighty. So the acid, you can kind of see it starting to slowly eat into the scales, hindered a little bit by the kind of viscous slime that this thing seems to be covered in. Okay, so no longer stunned, sensing itself around. Now, Rulin, you're obviously quite light-footed, so you got away there a little bit. Full plate and still kind of trying to close the distance. You're the obvious target here. So it's going to try and bite you there, Braxton. Disadvantage because Titus did hit it. And 16. So you managed to get your shield up, Braxton. The kind of more closes around the metal rims. For a moment, it feels almost as if the shield is just going to buckle inwards, but after a kind of a worrying creaking and groaning, it holds long enough for the creature to kind of release its grip, knowing that it's not hit anything there. Now, as this has been charging, the tail has been lashing side to side, so Triss is going to be attacking you with that. And I keep on forgetting its disadvantage. So, I mean, that's going to fail anyway. So thankfully, scrambling up to this higher ground has kind of brought you a bit of a better position against this thing. The angle of the cliff means that as you kind of keep a low profile, this swings over your head from this thing's position below you. So not a particularly productive turn for it as well. Alrighty, Rulin.
Okay, well, it's back on its feet. Yes.
Relatively speaking, I suppose metaphorically, it's.
Yes. I'm not going to waste any more stunning strikes then if it's got fucking legendary resistances. Let's just do 2 straight spear attacks.
So a hit.
1 hit, 1 miss.
You get advantage because of Tice's. Oh no, sorry, no, doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, hit and a miss.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't get the advantage from stun anymore. Right, yeah. So anyway, hit D8 plus 7, 12 damage there.
12 damage. Okay.
And then let's go straight on to the flurry of blows. First attack. 20.
Crits.
2d6. 18 damage there.
18. Okay.
And let's do the old force it to can't take a reaction.
Right.
And then the final flurry blow attack. 21
hits.
12 damage from that one.
12 damage from that one too. Okay.
And don't know if it really makes any difference at all, but force it to fall prone on a dex saving throw. DC 15.
Okay, so this thing falls kind of just. It doesn't seem to get that much lower. It picks itself up very quickly because it is not particularly reliant on being on legs.
So, I guess for the sake of
plus, it is counted as prone, so it will have a reduced movement speed.
Would that make it easier for Titus to crawl out? Or?
He is still firmly trapped in there, I'm afraid.
Okay. Should be easier for Braxton to hit it, though, at least. Oh,
so
and
Triss
next.
Triss is up next, so unless you want to do anything further.
Oh no, I'm done.
You don't.
Cool.
I have a question, Crispy, about wording to leave to your discretion. So the fast step action that I've got, hold on, let me just get the reading up for it. Bear with me a second. It says you can teleport up to 60 feet to, it's an unoccupied space. No, ignore that in that case. In that case, I'm going to dimension door inside the purple note probe.
Okay, cool. Fair enough, Triss. You open a dimension door and end up in a very close embrace with Titus trapped in this thing's stomach.
Arthurus!
Hello.
I don't think he would be saying that on 14 health.
Yeah, so Triss, you could see that, Titus's kind of lower legs now, you can actually see muscle. The skin has kind of largely been eroded away by this stomach acid. And kind of the rest of him isn't looking too peachy either, as, drips and drabs are, just eating into his flesh. He's still kind of clutching his great axe, but you can see that he's nowhere near his full potential.
I'm gonna kind of try and grab underneath Titus's arms and try and shimmy up his neck, but that's about all I can do this turn. I have
Okay.
nothing else for.
So, in fact, you'd both be blinded. So, Titus, something just grabs you by the back of the neck here.
I
Tries to shimmy
would
up.
know Triss's. I would know it's Triss.
I will also tune in
Her
to
gentle
would be-
Titus.
Triss's sweet embrace.
Yeah, I would know Triss.
The eldritch horror that is Triss.
Yeah.
Her cold,
You feel
her
the
cold
fluttering of
embrace.
very large eyebrow against eyelashes against your back. Oh, there.
Titus weeps because he knows this truly is the end now. Jesus.
She's come in to finish the job, add one to her tally, and then when it's done, she'll get back out. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know what happened to Titus.
But here's his legs.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Okay, so Triss,
My goddamn buffs before
You're
doing
in there
stupid
now.
shit.
Guy is so upset.
Sorry.
He's so upset. Who wants to go first?
okay, so Braxton, you're up. You didn't really, from your position, see Triss's little escapade there, but this thing's now a bit lower to the ground.
So I get advantage for prone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you will because it's
Yeah,
it's a melee attack. Yeah.
So I'm going to put that practice that I put in at Care and Win on the dummies into a real application and try and swing this frosty hammer twice at this thing.
Okay, so that's going to be 2 hits, that.
That's the first one with advantage, right?
Of course, yes. Sorry.
I'm going to miss this next one now. I shouldn't have said it. Yeah, 22 and... Oh, nice.
Yep,
So
2
that is
hits.
2 hits. And this thing needs a big old smiting, so level 3 is coming up.
Uh-huh.
So I always forget. So 2d8 for the hits.
Just empty a bag of dice onto the table.
3d8 for the smite. So that's 5d8 and 2d4 for the cold damage. So that's 24, and then the cold damage, another 4, so 28 altogether.
Okay, cool. Big hits onto this thing's now quite low down head as you kind of bring the full weight of a hammer down and kind of back it up with some religious fervor as well.
Nice.
Okay, very cool. I guess then Titus and Tarek.
Well, mine's the simple one.
Guess.
Feeling I assume Triss has been swallowed, so I'm gonna try desperately to hack us out of there with the last of my strength.
Okay.
Reckless, raging, the whole 9 yards. So just regular attacks. Oh, a crit and a crit fail.
Okay. So roll me the damage for the crit.
Okay,
Oh,
this is
well-
gonna be.
Quick question: does Titus get advantage on it being prone?
No, because he's inside, so it makes no difference to him.
Okay.
Okay, so this is. I would like to point out that finally, in Titus's final turn alive, he has done his brutal critical.
Yeah.
Which is just a gorgeous thing to witness. So that is 37 damage.
Ooh.
37 damage, which hard to escape. At least he would roll for it. But because that was a crit, but because you got a crit failure, what I'm going to do is make this very dramatic. Titus, you kind of raise the axe as far as you can. Now that Triss is on your back, it's kind of bought you a bit more room behind you to get some more oomph into the swing. And you bring this down and slash a fairly substantial kind of wound in this thing's stomach lining. And as this happens, you hear a kind of a squeal, and you see a kind of a small circle of light emerge amongst you. But as the axe goes through it, you feel like your right leg just give way. The acid is now just eating too far into your leg. But you've got enough time. You could potentially use this opening to throw Triss to safety.
No.
Triss has got a pretty hefty grip on your back, by the way. Just if that has any
okay.
bearing on it.
So it's clear that she doesn't want you to do it, but you've got the opportunity.
Oh God.
Michael Dorican.
Oh God.
Group hug.
If I. I don't know what to do. If I so my leg is way down in there.
Yeah, it's kind of a muscle starting to be eaten away. You don't know if you're going to have the strength to kind of climb out yourself.
Are we
Okay,
still?
Can I cut that? Can I cut it off?
Oh my God.
I mean, you could.
Would it? Do you think it would help?
Is it? Oh, well, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Well, it's not trapped in any way.
Okay.
Because the muscles.
I thought you meant it. I thought you meant it was trapped in,
no,
like
sorry,
in
it's
the
just
stomach.
because
Okay.
over time, this acid is burnt in so
Nah.
much.
Nah. I'm gonna. Titus is gonna trust Triss.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you.
So
He's
window-
he's gonna like think it's all over because he's just too weak. He's too weak, so he's like gonna start to go.
okay, so you see the window of opportunity close as the creature's mouth clamps shut again, and you prepare to meet your ancestors.
All right, Tarek's turn.
If he's there.
I am here. Right, I am going to do a very just typical attack now because third level spells need saving, yeah. I'm going to move into melee range, and I'm actually going to use a new cantrip.
Okay.
It starts off with a melee attack. So let's resolve that first and see if this...
Yep, prone, so still advantage.
It's just lagging a bit.
You good? That's a hit.
Oh, alright, sick. I'm going to roll the damage for the regular attack first, so that's d4 plus 3.
Sure.
So that's 5 damage.
Damage. Alrighty.
Cool. And I've cast a spell called Booming Blade. And essentially, it's going to let me deal extra thunder damage as I hit. And if the target moves before the start of my next turn, it'll take extra thunder damage. Ooh.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay.
Just as I strike it with the boom blade, just a load of little boomers start swirling round him, preventing movement.
Okay, cool. Very nice.
And the initial thunder damage is 2d8. 8 damage.
So 8 damage. Okay, cool. So you see loads of these smaller, kind of spinning blades, almost like just kind of caltrops with moving parts. Really start to kind of branch out around this thing from Torik's initial gauntlet.
Sick. And then I'm actually going to bonus action to activate my boots. Teleport back 10 feet to where I started the turn. Sure. And that seems like maybe one step back further, and that's good distancing right there.
Okay, cool. Havel then.
There's so much I can do. These shots would be a disadvantage, just as the issue.
Yeah, that's the one thing with prone. I didn't even think of that.
Oh shit! Yeah, I guess the range. Oops.
Yeah, screw you guys.
Almost forgot about you up in that.
You got plus 12 anyway. You'll probably still hit with advantage. Disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yeah, probably would.
They helped everyone else that was closer anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just need Torik to make me some gauntlets. Get me on plus like stupid amounts. Is anyone on the
Honestly, no, not really. Braxton's, Torik has just managed to distance
that's
himself.
making sure no one else has been hit like hard or anything. Go on then, let's go crazy and do some disadvantage shots, because why the fuck not? So
Yeet.
first one. Yeah. YOLO!
That's a hit.
22.
There you go.
And a 22.
Yep.
So,
24.
wait, the last one, 22 on this
In
one.
Havel's defense, he is a fairly decent archer, and this thing is a gargantuan creature, so he still... He takes a little bit of extra time to aim, granted, but he does manage to land the hits.
You know what, Havel? You're all right with that bow, aren't you?
You're alright with
Not
that,
a bad
mate.
shot.
Yeah, not bad, eh?
Alrighty. So again, these arrows just kind of hit the chitin, and kind of stick in. See, it's kind of oozing a bit of blood out of them. But they're small arrows, and it's a big worm. Alrighty, and it is now its turn. So I'm going to just roll the same damage for both of you two who are currently inside. So bear with me on that. Let's going to be 20 damage.
Okay.
So Tris, that's 57, and actually Titus, that does drop you down to 0, I'm afraid, my dude.
How much damage?
20.
I'm gonna use my my shit, but we'll see if it saves me.
Uh-huh. It does. It does. Puts you down to 4 instead.
Ooh.
So you two are both kind of sizzling away in there as this acid just continues to eat into the exposed flesh. And then this thing's just going to kind of keep lashing out at its tormentors. So it's going to try and swing its tail at Braxton and bite Rulin. So I'll do Braxton first. Disadvantage because Titus hit it. So 17 on Braxton is going to miss, and then on Rulin, also going to miss. So it's just large and cumbersome. You can kind of block and dodge the attacks. They're not hard to really predict. And it's just going to use its turn to get off the ground and stop being prone. Rulin.
Okay. Well, the little bit of an opening that Titus managed to slice open. Did any of us see that on its body anywhere?
I think it was done.
It was its mouth and kind of throat rather than like a cut through the external bit. It was more the pain that caused it to kind of open its gullet.
So I'm not going to be able to like kind of try and.
No, you have no idea where Titus would be in there. I'm afraid, from the outside.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Keep up the attack then. See if we can get this thing to spit out its dinner. 2 spear attacks. 2 hits. Uh, 20 damage.
20 damage.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I added my extras. I don't know. I think I only added 1/7 to that last round attack, but it doesn't matter. Flurry of blows, 1 key point. First attack.
Hits.
That's a hit. I'll do damage first. 11 damage for that
11
one. And let's do the dex saving throw again, see if I can knock it prone.
It's going to use another of its legendary resistances.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, as it spins around to look at Rulin, it's just another hammering fist to the side of its head. Just like. All right, and another attack. That's a 18. Hits. 8 damage there.
Another 8 damage, okay.
And let's say no reaction for that.
Okay.
And then I will fall back into the tree again.
Sure.
Okay.
You eat into your armor. The leather's okay-ish, but the adamantine starts to kind of hiss and fizzle a little bit. But you kind of maintain a firm grip around Titus's shoulders. Have we lost her?
Oh,
Pascal?
hi. Sorry, I can hear you again.
Hello.
Cut out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're in there, you've got a firm grip on Titus.
Yeah, I also realised last time I didn't roll my dice. Wait, did I keep my spell slot? Did I roll that?
Fuck, I haven't rolled acid damage.
I don't remember rolling it, so I'm going to roll it now.
No, you didn't.
I keep it anyway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Guy, do you want to roll acid?
You're the best
For his
GM. I
last
love
turn.
you.
Carry on, Tris.
I'm gonna get both arms around Titus, and I'm gonna dimension doors out. So sort of imagine it like me pulling the dimension door around us, and I'm gonna aim back down the path where we left the cart.
Okay. It's kind of around here somewhere.
Let me see whether I keep that one as well. Nope, kept one, lost one.
Okay, cool. And how much damage was that guy?
That was unmodified, so just 10.
Just 10. Okay.
Oh, I also needed to do a constitution check to see whether I kept... No, I wouldn't have kept it. Ignore me. Cool. That's me.
Okay, so Havel, you kind of see Triss and Titus just kind of fall out of this portal. You can see that, where a lot of his skin is either hanging off in flaps or just outright missing. A lot of the tribal tattoos have kind of suffered some pretty bad damage as a result, but he's not looking healthy. They're both kind of sizzling a little bit as this residual acid burns away, but at least they're out now.
His tattoos are damaged.
Yep, the acid's just stripped the skin.
That sucks.
Well, if only we knew a tattoo artist in the party, huh?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Oric is wasted as
Maybe Tara can get him some new tattoos that can do new things.
Okay, so unless you got anything else you particularly want to do, Triss, it'll move to Braxton.
That's me.
Braxton, who's realised he's missed out on loads of damage because he's an idiot. Basically, I did one less dice for Divine Smite, and I'm going to get an extra 1d8 on every melee hit now because of the latest level up. I just totally forgot about, but I can't bother retconning it. Let's just I'll just play it right for now, and hopefully I'll hit. So let's just hit it twice. It's not prone or anything anymore, is it? It just can't react.
Yeah, it's got no reaction, so you can step away when you're done.
Oh!
That's a miss and a crit.
I will... I'm running out of level 3s. I'm going to have to use a level 1 smite. Which is still going to be a lot. So I get 4 from the level 1 smite, 2 from the free radiant damage, 2 from the weapon. Yeah, so it's... Oh god, and 2... Oh god, okay, right. Plus 3. 39 damage.
Plus 3. Braxton, how do you want to do it?
So I think rather than aiming for the head, because I'd imagine I was rearing this attack up while Titus was still inside, so I'm aiming right for its belly, trying to sort of unsettle it and make it spit up its food. So it's a strike directly to the stomach that sort of like stuns it, and you can see almost the force of the blow like rippling through its body, and eventually it just slumps down.
Okay, so this
liquefied its internal organs or something.
Yeah, this gargantuan hammer blow kind of just rings out, echoing off these kind of rocky cliffs here, and you just watch as this creature just collapses. Other than a deft sidestep from Braxton, it might have been at risk of crushing him. But after a few twitches, it kind of falls still. It's kind of 40-foot length, kind of blocking the road.
and wasting no time realizing Titus is behind. And now this thing is incapacitated. I'm going to run straight over to attend to Titus.
Okay, so Braxton, you can see that Titus is suffering quite a lot here. This creature's digestive juices are really, making short work of the organic matter. You're pretty certain he wouldn't have lasted much longer in there.
So if I check his legs, is like the threat of the poison over, or is it still because of the residual stuck to him? Is that still an issue?
It seems that the acid has kind of burnt its course.
Okay,
no
great.
further threat.
So seeing he's, no pun intended, kind of on his last legs, I'm going to go for. I'll lay on hands, and I'm going to use a good amount, like 30 of the pool of lay on hands, just to give him
30 lay on hands to
big old
Titus, so it brings him up
divine
to 34. Okay, so you tend to Titus's wounds, and although there's clearly more here than you can hope to fix, you do at least make his situation a great deal more tenable. Titus, the pain now starts to recede a little bit as Braxton kind of works his magic, but it still stings like a bitch. These kind of raw muscles and nerves exposed to the open air.
He's just going to be screaming in pain.
It's okay, Titus. It's over now. You'll be okay. We'll get you safe.
So we can get him onto the back of the cart, maybe.
My tattoos.
Okay, so it takes a bit of doing, but you guys managed to kind of assist Titus over and onto the back of this cart. Carry on.
I was just thinking, I can't really help with the cart. Is there anything to loot on from the battlefield, like teeth of the monster or good old monster parts?
Roll me an investigation, please, Guy.
Ooh, yes. This will be a +5. So that'll be 14.
You having seen what this acid has done to Titus's flesh, whilst you pity the poor chap, your professional side can't help but wonder whether there would be something salvageable that might be useful for your your future studies. You wouldn't want to put his pain to you wouldn't want him to suffer in vain here when there could be scientific gain to be made. So Tari, you take some time as the others help Titus to kind of prise open this thing's kind of scales are less hard than the chitinous plating on its back, but it still takes you a while. So after a reasonable amount of time, a couple of minutes, you've sliced enough of a portion away to access this thing's stomach, where inside you find the keystone.
Ooh.
Oh!
Now that was close.
It's dripping. It's
the keystone that Triss looted from the
very same. It is dripping in stomach acid, but the stone itself does not seem to be reacting to it. It's at least not yet. You can see that little bits of it are perhaps eating into it, but it's a slower process than flesh, it seems.
Kind of like some kind of enzymic action going on there. Triss, have you lost anything? I'd like to imagine, like, as you guys are trying to like lift an injured Titus, like Torik's just carving this thing open with a boomer blade. Oh god!
It's just like the equivalent of like an angle grinder to this thing's
Have you seen
underbelly.
that GIF of someone trying to cut open a whale on the beach?
Huh.
Anyway,
Looks like maybe I have lost something. Thanks, Torik.
you're welcome, and you can pay me back by. Have you got any flasks on you?
Do I have any flasks on me?
Dunno. Do you have any flasks on
I
you?
don't think so.
It's not my inventory. What are you asking me for? Know your shit, people.
No, I refuse. No, sorry, Torik, I don't.
Okay, it's a good. I always carry spares. I just didn't really want to use them, but that's okay.
Hmm.
like the fact they're probably worth like a few silver a piece, but Dark is still cheap enough to try and
Yep.
get away with that. Excellent.
Cool. So I've got 6 flasks. To be fair, I've probably got enough to fill all 6 up, right?
Yeah, it's a lot still in there. It's a big creature.
Is that the one you were on about?
Worm stomach acid. Nice. Oh, maybe I could take a look at its tail piercer while I'm at it.
Yeah. Okay, so the tail piercer, the sting is quite vicious and quite large. Too much so to be really useful to you. It does contain some residual poison, but on closer inspection, it seems to be of very similar potency to the stomach acid in terms of just dissolving power.
Ooh, I don't think I could really make it. I mean, unless I could make Roland a new spear. That's kind of cool.
It's just a purple worm stinger on a stick.
We can attach it to the other side of the cart.
Torik's war chariot. I think the horse is pulling it more than anything else. But
So you attach it to one of the wheels like a Roman chariot, and now we just need to find 3 more of these things so you can get some more for the other wheels. Oh, shit.
So is that going to be like a survival check, or
what, to find more purple worms?
no, to get the stinger off.
Yes, yeah, but let's make that a survival check. That would probably count towards that, I think.
Cool. Oh, mate, 18.
So you managed to get this thing off. It takes you a while because it's just so big. The stinger itself is probably about 4 foot long. But you managed to get it off.
So while the rest of us are trying to perform first aid on Titus as he's screaming and crying in the background, all we can hear is
the only member of your party who is actually a doctor is just off.
I'm not that kind of doctor. Would you stop the screaming? It's very distracting.
I'm trying to work here. Yeah.
Look, if you want a healing potion, I'm literally all out. Like, go fuck yourself.
Your insurance doesn't cover that. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you get this thing off, but it's large, it's heavy, and it's not particularly elegant.
No. I'm gonna just like drag it to the cart, pointer sticking away from me.
Right. Okay.
In fact, for extra safety, I'm gonna tie a rope around it and drag it behind.
Okay. You know what? No, actually, no, I won't. That'll be cruel. You drag it to the cart. Everybody is still, trying to. Well, first of all, some people are just trying to hold Titus down as he's screaming, as Braxton, kind of lays process is kind of going fairly well from the looks of it, but there's still, a lot of raw flesh there. But you realise to your dismay, with Titus taking up the vast majority of the back of his cart, you're going to have a hard time getting your stinger up there.
Yeah. I think that, it's a hard thing to say, but maybe the stinger will have to come second. Jesus, Torik's such a dick.
Torrik. Look at this. Isn't that nice?
He's gonna elbow Tris and be like, "How's it going? How's he looking?" And I'm guessing Titus will just go like, "Oh!" At that point.
Trish is gonna sort of shrug. Yeah, it's about what you'd expect, really. Is the keystone?
Roll me a perception. Yeah, so the keystone it's suffered a little bit of damage from the acid, but it's still intact and still, up for purpose. Havil, roll me a perception from up in your tree.
Wonderful. It's advantage?
Yep, favoured terrain, so get advantage for
that. 15.
Something catches your eye in the distance, deeper into the woods. Some of the treetops have started to rustle a little bit. You suspect that Titus's quite loud screams of pain are probably going to draw in things you don't particularly want to draw in.
Oh, wonderful. It's just what we need. Well, I'd relay that to the party.
It's still a reasonable way off. Your tree does give you a good vantage point to spot this, but you wouldn't want to push your luck.
Cool.
Maybe if I haste Braxton, he'll heal him faster.
Well, now that Titus is stabilised and he's on the back of the cart, maybe we should keep moving. I mean, Braxton can probably sit on the back of the cart with Titus and just carry on working on him for the time being.
We could do that as well.
We'll just gather up the horses and
better idea, yes.
start making our way.
Making our way downtown.
Okay, so you guys gather the horses. Braxton, you kind of tend Titus. Tarek, with great dismay, you watch as the stinger recedes into the distance as the cart gets moving, and you guys continue pushing north. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh man!
Blimey. Thought we'd lost him.
Good fucking lord, Crispy! I have been on the edge of my seat this entire session. Holy shit! I thought that was it.
With your imposing disadvantage, Charlie, you really saved that fight.
Honestly, it's so powerful against single monsters like that. I mean, it hit first turn and never again.
Yeah. Well, Braxton
it was only the acid damage.
I gained hit.
I honestly, semi-metagaming, not throwing Triss through the gap. But Titus just would have fucking died. There's no question. Yeah. So it's oh god. Oh.
At least in that circumstance, even though it was low-key metagaming, the fact that there was a telepathic link between them.
Yeah, exactly.
And Titus. Oh, no, I like the way you explain that. Titus probably does trust Triss.
He just
with
trusts
his life
her,
at this point. Yeah.
And it's he closes his eyes, just hoping she has a plan.
That last Stone's endurance, though, getting a 10.
But yeah.
Well, that's the relentless.
The Spirit Guardians is what that is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, your relentless rage when you rolled the DC 10 to drop to 1 HP.
I actually didn't get that.
It didn't come to that at the end.
Was it not that?
No. But it could have. But it was getting onto that though. I
guess you still had a second chance there then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With +9 con save, I guess.
Well, yeah.
It's it's a really powerful build actually against a single large monster.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's so good that Havel's gone for Horde Breaker because it just complements both sides of that.
Yeah,
It's like he really came into his own last fight, whereas now, Titus has a chance to shine against by just making it so hard for it to damage anyone else. Literally just forces it to damage him.
Guy was so annoyed at the start as well when you could have buffed you're given you advantage on con saves and you failed a con save to get eaten or whatever.
Dex.
It was the Dex save.
It was the Dex save that did it.
Yeah.
And the
still
annoying
ended
thing
up
is, like, I shouldn't have thrown my shield away because if I have my shield because of Shield Master, I add my shield AC to my Dex save. So it Titus with a shield is just unstoppable. But we had to.
It
close
was
that
a
mine
very
off.
cool way to shut that mine down.
Yeah.
And
it was
having
like-
to have a little fight in the base of that quarry there.
To become
was like,
Captain
what's-
America for him.
I was like, what's the heaviest thing I have? And I was like, well, I don't want to throw away the Mega Axe,
Braxton.
do I? Braxton!
Throw Torek. Always throw Torek. That's what it should always come down to.
Just flat him against
Oh, man. Titus has had a bad... He threw away his shield that he spent all that time building. And he's lost a bunch of his tattoos. Titus.
For the love of
Spanish.
God, can we please take a long rest? Please.
I'm not near any time.
I love how I've
Next
thrown
up.
these two really big, and it's like a case of no, let's push on into a war zone. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
And all of us thinking that Crispy was joking about the trying to kill us thing. Nope.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
pretty sure Crispy wants to end this campaign, considering we threw those spiders at us last time, and now we get that.
Well, it was turn
The thing
one
is, like,
where Titus
you guys,
37 damage. That's when I was scared.
Yeah, when Titus gets down to like fucking
4.
health, you're like,
Uh-oh.
well.
Yeah, when it was 30 last time, I was like, "Oh, that was close." This time, you could tell I thought it was close because I was quiet.
stop chatting shit. No, but you guys did like 450 damage to that in the end.
Oh
there.
my god!
So
Jesus Christ!
That spell that Trish
God.
uses is unbelievable.
That is pretty
I
fucking.
know,
One of
dude.
the level up things that I got, yeah, and it's like a very, very limited use.
That's so sick, though.
Yeah,
Desperate
limited use, but still
situation
fucking
only.
ridiculous. Yeah.
So powerful. I'm fine. I honestly thought Titus's